For my underdogs, the ones willing to pay the cost. Even when we're up, we gotta take a loss. Underdogs are always against the odds. I'ma use this opportunity to do it for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. Yeah, my underdogs.
Welcome back to the Rec Center podcast. I'm Kenny Edwards, joined with my co-host as always, Lorenzo Lolo Parham. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Ken, man? Excited, man. We had a great interview, man, last week with T-Time, man, Counter University, man. T-Time enlightened me on a lot of things, man, that happened. Even the Arizona State situation, because I knew he was there, then he was gone, you know, with a lot of promise. So shout out to T-Time coming on. And shout out Ken. We got 3 more episodes before we end our season 2, man. So definitely had a great season 2, a lot of great guests, man. But I'm excited to bring this guy on, man. Another Fremont alumni. Hey, we've been bringing the Fremont in.
I was thinking that.
They can't say we hating on Fremont no more, man. We've been bringing them guys in, man. But, you know, this is going to be a great interview to follow up, man. We had big brother Mario on, man. And we knew Mario and Jino took 2 different paths to get to where they were and to play football, man. I tell everybody all the time, 2 of the smartest football players I've seen on the football field was Eric Culbertson and Jino Vital. You man, so hey, man, let's welcome Jino to the podcast. G, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Man, always,
It's our honor, man, to hear the story, man. Me and Ken had a debate long time ago, and it was a Facebook debate. You probably was in there.
I was in there.
We talked about how you guys' family, are y'all the first family of OEL football? You know, some families got thrown out. We got Keith and Kevin Parker. We had the Henderson brothers about at McClymonds High School. We had the Parham brother, because I got to shout my brother out. Like I did, but we had the Parham
the Shavies.
The Shavies brothers.
Right.
So we had your name and the Parker's name came up a lot as that foundation, the Vitals.
Yeah.
But we gonna have to go back before the Vital days, man. You gotta take us back to the Baloney days, man, because that's who I met.
That's who I know. That's who I know.
I met the Balonies, man.
I don't know no Vitals. I know the Balonies.
I met the Balonies, man. So, hey, man, Mario let us know, man, that, you know, you guys came from Houston, ended up at 77th, Royal Park, man. What was that Royal Park experience like for you when you came from Texas? Did you come from Texas too, G?
Yeah. Hey, we all came from Texas. We all came from Texas. When we came out here, I think was 90. It was like, I think it was February of 90 or something like that, or 91. I can't remember. Right. So we come out from Texas. Moms and pops that came out here kind of scoped the scene a little bit because some stuff that went down in Texas with pops. And then they came back to get us. Now, mind you, you know, like we country bumpkins, bro. We ain't been on no planes. We ain't been out of Texas, like Harris County, bro. So we get on a Greyhound, come all the way up here, bro. Like the whole three-day trip, you know, I-10 to the 5, like all the way up. And my auntie picked us up, put us directly on 78th and Mac. We instantaneously 4 big head country boys over there at my grandma's house on 78th and Mac, bro. So we ended up there. We was all displaced at first when it came to the schooling. Like I think me and Mario went to Markham. Red was the only one to get into Parker, and Nato went to Burbank or something like that. Because you know when you come in February, they just trying to get you in school.
Right.
So from that moment, like the first day of school at Markham, he fighting, I'm fighting, Red fighting. So now I got to pick Nato up from school, and I'm hopeful that he not fighting because I don't know nobody over there. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up friending like the whole neighborhood. So now we boys, we playing baseball, we playing strikeout, we playing throw up tackle. We just just roughhousing in the neighborhood. That's how we ended up going to Parker. First off, we started playing at Parker. We wasn't even allowed to go to Royal because that was too far for us. So Parker had his own like flag football team that we went to. I think it was Sunnyside on like 9-8 to Bancroft, right? That's that park.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we was over. So we was over there because that's the whole Mac trick. We kind of went through that route, and it was cool. And then what ended up happening? We all went to Parker. I think we ended up going down there one day. One of our friends or something wanted us to go to Arroyo, and then that's how we ended up meeting Bruce. Bruce was the coach of the flag football team at Arroyo. Yep. He was on 78th, and he lived on 78th and Hillside. On 77th and Hillside. He lived on 77th and Hillside. So we kind of was in that neighborhood. Boom. Now we know somebody that's go to this park. Let's go to that park now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we ended up at Arroyo. And, and then from Arroyo, we started playing football. We started playing flag football. We had never played. Think about this. In Texas, we never played football before, ever.
In Texas?
We never played football. We were project kids in like this, it was just such a, it was one way in. It was like, it was two-way in. You had like a little cul-de-sac, but it was nothing but, just imagine of a cul-de-sac, but it's an apartment complex of like 200 something duplexes, bro, like with a railroad track behind you. So you kind of boxed in. So we played baseball. Baseball was our sport. You know what I'm saying? Baseball was our sport because that was right across the street at the park. We had baseball. We had a little basketball, and that was pretty much it.
Hey, but was it like baseball? You playing on a team, or was it just in the neighborhood baseball?
Texas. You had parks, like as much as parks that you have out here. Just imagine everything's bigger in Texas, right? So you had parks that was like your neighborhood. Like we were Finnegan Park. My pops, I think he might got that tattooed on him or something. Like, you feel me? Because our elementary school was to the left of it. The park was just coming out out of the apartment complex. Where, think about this, my grandma stayed, my aunt stayed, my mom had 4 sisters and a brother. We all lived in there. My dad lived there, his sister. So we was like neighborhood kids over there. So we all kind of knew each other. So the park was the park was in center. The baseball diamonds was to your right. The elementary school was to your left. The high school was on the back side. The middle school was on the back behind the thing. So it was basically like that's how we
You ain't got to lead you don't have to lead that perimeter.
And we didn't know anything else. And that's all they offered was baseball. So like it was basically the same setup as almost like Greenman. You had your good diamond, and then you had the back diamond, right? So we would, go out there and go hit the ball and play center field, steal bases. We was trying to be everybody. We was doing the same thing. Ricky Henderson, all of them.
Hey, G, this is what I wanted to ask you, because when you brought up Greenman,
you
left playing all of that baseball, and then you come out here and you go to play Oakland Bay Roof. Was that like baseball heaven for you?
It was, but it was different. Because everything was we had to get used to the speed of Oakland. You feel me? Like the speed of Oakland was completely different because we go from being everybody know who you are, right? And then it's like we're in a different place. We country as hell, so we dog this and man that. You know what I'm saying? So we country as hell. So now the dudes is like, man, who these dudes? Who these jokers, right? Who these clowns? Or what would you say, Marks and Busters back then, right? Right? But then the girls at school was like, oh, like, who are these dudes, right? So that's how we got into most of our fights over the girls, because the girls would like us and the dudes wouldn't. So we kind of had to click a little bit closer as a family. Like, that's how we had to come about. So my mom, her number one thing is, we all leave together, we come back together.
Yeah.
4 boys go, 4 boys come back, street lights come on. Bro was always trying to test that because he was the oldest. So, once he get a whooping, we all get a whooping. You feel me? So then mom started trusting like Coach Bruce and Coach Steve, like all them. So then once they started realizing that we was in good hands, they just started allowing us to go out even more. You know what I'm saying? Because it was really older brother. Mario was the one that was always the one that they feared, right? My parents feared because they didn't know, they couldn't get a read on him, what he was going to do. And he in a new place, and Pops already know is, you got the bandits over here, what I'm saying? You got everybody in this, he could be easily influenced. So they was just trying to keep a grips on him for the most part. They put us in church right across the street. You know what I'm saying? They did everything they were supposed to do. So, from there, we just kind of found our little coaches, so, that we kind of rock with. So what ended up happening? I think we came in. My first baseball team was actually Elihu Harris. I played for
Oh, poor kid.
Ken, they had a good team. They had a good team one year.
No, that's like Sean, White Sean year. Like he was good. Elihu Harris, right?
Who played on that team? That's how. It's kind of like we here for a year. We play a little baseball here, mind you. We don't pay for nothing, so we like some of those kids that's that those
you get put on Elihu Harris when you don't.
So
pay.
they like, hey, you want to play baseball? We're like, yeah, come on, play baseball. You get a uniform? Oh, got a uniform. Like, we ain't got no cleats though. Oh, don't worry, we come. Son, give me what size you wear? They passing us cleats. We getting hand-me-downs over there. So me and Red grew up in that. Nada was too young, but me and Red grew up in there, bruh. I don't think Mario played no baseball until maybe like 14 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember
13,
playing
14,
baseball.
yeah, play no baseball. So it was me and Red. We was thrown into that. So we literally at Arroyo Park pretty much every day, right? So that's how we was already playing flag football, right? Then we come around. I don't think we played basketball because the basketball team was kind of already had its little players on it. But we was next in line. So instead of going to the basketball, we would do baseball. And that's how we did the baseball. And then I think that next year, my minors, it was my second year of minors. My second year minors, we ended up in West Oakland. Just think about this, bro.
What the hell?
We couldn't even leave the neighborhood, and all of a sudden, we in West Oakland at Lowell practicing for Kappa, right?
So I don't remember you playing for Kappa.
Because I was on Kappa. You was on Kappa too?
No, I didn't play for Kappa, but I remember the first memories I have of you. I think you was with Hammer.
Yeah, so I played for this. Is what I'm saying, I played on Kappa 1. It was me
with Adrian Cooper and them.
Scooby, it might have been Adrian.
Yeah, Scooby and them. Yeah, the West Oakland Kappa.
Coop older.
Tubby and all them.
Coop older. Coop my age.
Yeah, Petey.
Yeah.
Who else was on there? It was a few. Was Kurt on the team?
Kurt Morrison. Yep.
Kurt, then when he got majors, Kurt went to Kappa 2. Yep, Kurt was on that team. Yep. So me and Kurt, that was one of my oldest friends right there. Kurt
Petey, I remember Petey. Petey used to always pitch against us.
Yeah, Petey was my guy though. He the only person throwing curveballs.
I remember Petey. Yeah.
Hey, Jino. But so when I met you guys, we in middle school now, junior high now. We at King of States, right? And at this time, you guys flourishing as athletes.
We the balonies. They already know the balonies. Yeah.
Flourishing as athletes, right? Everybody know the baloney flourishing as athletes, right?
Yeah.
Now at this time, do you guys figure out what's gonna be your main sport by the time you in junior high? What's gonna be your main sport?
So here we talking again. This is me and Red. Mario ain't got nothing to do with this, right? It's because bruh's like he's in the height of his street life, right? He's trying to be, Lil D and all them. Like he trying to be like Felix. Man, bruh over on his street life for real. And he was to test to it. He like, man, you look at that interview, like he like, bro, I don't even know. You got to talk to Gino. He got because bruh, so it was me and Red, right? Me and Red played on Hammer. So now hold on. We started off in East Oakland. We go to West Oakland. Now we on High Street, right? We playing at Hammer, 2 years of High Street, right? And then that's when I started learning. I started knowing Tamarcus. I started learning T.Y. I already was friends with old school Versailles Wade. That was my guy, right? I was friends with Versailles. So that's how I ended up meeting Hooch, right? So then I'm like, no, now I'm starting to know all these people and we battling against each other. So of course, I'm at Arroyo. This is when that dividing line came into, what Chris Dixon was talking about, because I knew Chris at this point too, is trying to figure out which Allen Temple you was gonna go to, right? So now it's like, you gonna play for Allen Temple or you gonna play for somebody else over here, right? So that's how we ended up doing it. So that by the time me and Red ended up getting, I think 11, and I think I was 12, 13 when I first went to Allen Temple. But because I quit baseball for like when we started playing at the infirmary. I quit baseball.
We was 12.
I quit baseball because I started playing basketball. Now I finally get into basketball and I'm loving it.
Was you at Wolverines?
I was with the Wolverines.
Yeah.
I was with the Wolverines. Yeah. So I started playing basketball because I'm loving it. And now I got a Memorial Day tournament for basketball and a Memorial Day tournament for baseball. and they telling me I gotta choose which one I want to, what's my loyalty to. This Coach Jeff, Coach Jeff Bennett from baseball, and I'm like I'm just thinking. And Coach Stan Cornelius was my coach for basketball, and Stan's super cool, but I knew the amount of money and time that he invested into me, because mind you, AAU ain't cheap, right?
Right.
Baseball is something else, but AAU ain't cheap. And as an adult, I know this, but as a kid, you just want to play, right? So coming into that whole AAU scene, I wasn't even supposed to be on that team. They wanted TeMarcus and they wanted Jamal Jones, because if you remember, Ken, from our elementary school, from Arroyo Park, we ended up winning the 6th grade for Arroyo. We played against Lakeview.
Mm-hmm.
We played against Lakeview, and we beat the brakes off them, right? So now they come in, and, they trying to pull, but they see me. I'm like I'm 3. It's TeMarcus, it's Jamal. No, first it's Jamal, TeMarcus, because TeMarcus T.Y. was always bigger than everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So his
he could hoop. He could hoop.
Yeah. So then it's me, right? So my role was to be the outlet and pass that to Terrell Taylor streaking on the end. Terrell Taylor was over there. He was getting hella left hand because he was faster. He was just streak down the thing, and that's how we would give him his little layups. And that was our little play. T.Y. get the rebound, find me. I get the overhead LeBron pass to Terrell. No dribble, one dribble, left hand layup. Boom, we come back on the press, and we took that same thing to middle school. So we basically had our same squad from Arroyo, and we took that to King of States. See what I'm saying? And that's why we were so good, because now we taking that same philosophy. But now, boom, this will happen. Coach Stan finds me. He realized TeMarcus is really literally low. You and TeMarcus, T.Y. might be older than you, bro.
Nah,
No, he talking about age. Right? He ain't talking about grade. He talking about age.
He might be older than you.
He might be.
Then they find that out. So scratch him off the list. And Jamal was on that line, right? That fine line of like eligibility, like what the birthday and what time he was born, all that stuff, right? So he give me a shot. So now he give me a shot. And I'm like, in my head, I get to the practice and I'm seeing everybody I didn't ran through the whole time. So I'm like, so I couldn't make this team, right? So in my head, I'm like, I can't make this team. So you know what? I say, it's cool. In my head, I know how competitive I am, right? I was competitive when it came to sports, right? I'm still legit. My wife attests to you to this day. Like, she hates when I be in here talking, because I have my own. I'm in the garage, bro. I gotta watch sports by myself. Don't talk to me. Right? So,
yeah, we know. We grew up with you. We know.
So then I get there and I'm like, it's me. It's Ricky Barley.
Yeah.
It's Stan. It's Austin Nichols.
Yeah.
Was David? No,
Marquine. Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
Marv Henderson.
The light skinned crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but they were still trying to develop. They tall with all legs, all arms. You feel me? Don't really know their body type deal. So I'm already the same height that I am now, right? So but all I'm doing is just running. I'm just running, getting everybody in shape. I'm running. He put me on point on the press, and that was all she wrote. Like, now I'm a big guard. Like, I'm a big guard playing all these little guards, trying to be Allen Iverson, trying to do Tim Hardaway crossovers. You feel me? I'm pop, Rick.
You had hops too. I didn't know. Growing up, I didn't realize how high you could jump until we played Wolverines.
Because I was run. All I did was run.
Yeah, them big ass calves.
That's all I did was run. Right? Yeah. I run and I eat, so it's different. Because when I look back at it, I wish I would have ran track, but I was too lazy to do that. So I just
we is gonna talk about the 1 year you did run.
Yeah, I was like, I remember you running track.
And the lady by the name of Tania Woods being in that race with you.
I know, right?
You lost to a girl.
Hey, if I lost to him, a lot of people would have lost to her too, right? But here, so from there, I get the whole situation with that team, and then I ended up, being the man. So I'm like, now I'm the man in baseball when it comes to the Hammer team. And I'm the man in basketball, and I'm like, which way do I choose? Because if we win this over here in Menlo, we going straight to Las Vegas. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to Las Vegas. Or I'm going to go to the Fermi and keep playing at the Fermi, right? So I made that decision. So this is how meticulous I was as a kid, bro. If you remember the Discovery Zone, I used to be in Emeryville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some way, I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but they ended up needing people to come help break it down. So I ended up going there working at like 12 years old to go, demolish the Discovery Zone. So I got my money. So I'm thinking in my head, how do I get in trouble so I can get on punishment so I can't play baseball, but I can still play basketball. So as soon as they gave us our cash, I think I had like $35 or something like that. He gave us our cash. I went straight to the Tower Records, bro. And I'm in there, that little window with the little mirror and everything. I take 2 tapes. I got a Ghetto Boys tape and I got a Cell Block tape, bro. I put one in my pocket and I go to the thing. I do it right in front of the mirror, like,
I'm stealing.
And I go with a pocket full of money that I could purchase it because it was only like, one was like $7.99, the other one was something. But I ended up going over there, stealing it. My parents like, man, you got money, why you stealing? I'm like, real super quiet. So then he was like, well, got to put you on punishment. You can't play no sports. I was like, man, okay. So long story short, I ended up doing that. And then I was playing. It worked for me. That's how I ended up getting off the baseball team. So I didn't have to quit. My parents pulled me off. And then I was able to get on the basketball team. And then after we won that in Menlo, then that's when Coach Jeff ended up coming back because they needed me for the playoffs. So
no Pop Warner at this time.
I played Pop Warner
because I don't remember you playing Pop Warner.
That was the same year I played Pop Warner.
For the Saints or the Dynamites?
No, I played for the Saints. Because Coach Steve paid for me and Red to play.
Webster?
Nato and Mario ain't even in this conversation right now, right?
Steve Webster.
Steve Webster. He paid because Steve paid for me and Red to play. He got us whatever, so we in the back of his truck, we going over there. I'm with Steve, mind you, I'm with Steve every day. Steve, grandma or parents stayed on 73rd and Well. We stay on 70, now we staying on 76 and Mac. No, I think we might still be on 78, but we might be 70, but we only lived 78th and Mac, 76 in Bancroft. That's the only 2 places we live, right? Yeah. So we basically the 70.
I know the Bancroft, Gino.
Yeah, so but Steve, now I'm with Steve every day. We baseball hunting now, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like we doing all this. I'm Winter League. We playing every sport you can think of. Me and Red is playing it, right? We playing winter ball. We playing summer ball. We playing baseball, bro. We doing everything. Flag football, 7-on-7, anything you can name. They was just like, hey, I got 2 kids right now. You know what I'm saying? 2-on-2.
We gonna win. I got 2 kids right here.
You're not gonna, y'all the Bad News Bears. Okay, here go these 2. Right? Let's change the program around. And so that's how I ended up getting to Romani because my parents couldn't. We didn't have a car, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm 58, 57, 40 L in it, bro. Like,
so at this point, Rio is off. Nato is really young. So right now you and Red are like super tight.
Nato young, but Nato soaking all of it in. See, I'm gonna get to that when we get to the end, but Nato soaking all of it in. So now we going over here playing. I'm playing tight end and cornerback, right? On the Saints. Pizzo playing running back. So, I'm playing tight end. They're going to call to play my side. I'm washing the whole side down. That's why me and Pizzo, because he knew that I wiped out. He knew my hole was going to be open, right? So that's pretty much what I did every time. They give me a down block, boom, ear hole somebody all the way down. Broken fingers. My fingers still messed up to this day from some of those. Because I got my head hitting the helmet, at Ramonde, it was hella cold. I had no gloves, everybody wearing Newmans and stuff. I ain't even had no baseball gloves.
Bro, you did not come up to bat with no batting gloves, bro. Yeah. You wasn't Glenn Allen Hill, was you?
I had Red had tattoos, bro. My pops gave us tattoos when we was when I was playing for Kappa. I got the
what?
So we got an open heart tattoo with our initials in it.
What?
At like 12?
Mario was 12.
Your dad did it?
My pop gave us jailhouse tattoos, bro. I'm telling you, I kid you not. So now we over here. I ain't got ashy lips. I got the hat on, red with the red pen, with the black, white and red pinstripe cap like this in the pictures, bro. Like tattoo showing like this. They like, is that fake? I'm like, hey, try to rub it off. Girls will be like this. So that's why we started rolling our sleeves up all the time. You should see it. We
I do remember that. I do remember.
Hold on.
That.
It was for the tattoo. It wasn't for having big ass arms at a 12-year-old.
At 12.
It was for tattoos. We could put the little white t-shirt on with the black t-shirt underneath, roll the sleeves up, man. Come on, man.
I do remember y'all.
Hey, but so let's speed up some, G. So now you playing at the Saints. When Pizzo and them go to high school, do you get your shot at running back and be able to do your thing, or did you ever not play it in Little League?
I'm too heavy. I'm too heavy. I'm like 160, bro. Like I'm too heavy, right? So I don't even play that year. That's when I started playing with Allen Temple. I started playing with Allen Temple, and that's when my King of States year started coming with basketball. Right, so I play Allen Temple and I play King of States basketball, and I sit that year out. But Red, and this will Nato come in the scene. Red and Nato, for some reason, Lo, you played for Pal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember these? You used to go to the little Christmas stuff at the Shiloh Church.
Yeah.
They used to, they used to pull us to them. See, you didn't even know, Lo. They used to pull us to them, get all our little water guns and GI Joes and shit, right? And Red and them, we met somebody from that was Oakland police officers, Mario Thornton. And that's how Red and them ended up getting introduced to them, so that they played in Fremont, in the Fremont Football League. Mind you, I'm too big.
They told
right?
us, yeah.
So now Red and Nato was starting to get pulled from Oakland, right? All the way to Fremont. They coming to get them. When they get off work over there at the downtown Oakland at the precinct, they come pick them up. Boom, take them all the way down there to practice, bring them all the way back, right? Mm-hmm. That was the routine. Red and them go out there, they wearing real uniforms, Raiders, Eagles, Broncos, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. You got 5 fields going with real Pop Warner games. They ain't got to leave Fremont at all. So when we started going out there looking at it, it was like super cool. But mind you, me and Mario bigger, right? So now we around the police officers. They in our head, they in bruh head. They like, man, get yourself together, man. You could be out here too. You know, bro, like, man, like, so now he's starting to see, like, his little brothers are out here. Red Nato killing this league, right? Red Nato killing, Red the quarterback wearing 22 or some shit. Like, I don't know what number he was wearing, bro. He was wearing 22. Nato was coming up. Nato always thought he was a hitter, right? So he would come up, this little chin strap, be all the way up here, beat, hitting some people. It was like if your kids play, you like, oh, they're so cute, right? So it was like that. So now the next year, now I'm working with Mario. It's me and Rio at that time for football.
How old are you right now?
I'm 13.
Okay.
I'm 13 years old. So now this summer, me in middle school, Mario played in the Christmas tournament for King of States.
At right? Fremont.
At Fremont. He go for like 48 in the championship. Him and Nick Shaw going at it, right? I'm in the stands like, oh, bro, because I don't even know he could do this shit, bro. Like, I'm his brother. I know he good. I know he shot that little over the top, over his head little shot. But I didn't think that he was there because I'm too busy playing my basketball, trying to win championships. I'm not even worried about, bro. Like, bro, you good? We ain't funk with nobody today. We cool? Like, too much money, bro? Like, oh, we cool. As long as we ain't beefing, I need to go to class. Like, that's basically how I talk to my brother. And then all of a sudden, he just, he started playing, and then they played that game, and I was there supporting my brother. I'm like, I want to see my brother win, but I don't know. It's Bret Hart. Like, I don't know. Bro go out there, just yanking shit. I'm like, oh, bro, get it in. So from then, that's when Big Fred see him. So now I'm with Mario the whole time, right? Now we getting closer. We starting to like lead it. He's starting to lead the street stuff. He's starting to come over, play video games with me, start hanging out with me, start hanging with my friends. So now I'm now able to see how he's able to, people are approaching him. So Big Fred come get him. He picks him up from King of States, take him to Fremont. I'm with bruh. I hops in too. I want to see where bro go. We go to Fremont, they over there practicing. It's Elliot, Jules, freaking all of them in there. They dunking and shit. Boom. I get in the layup line too. Like, fuck it. I'm looking there.
Hey, but you was up there too, though.
I'm a competitor, so I'm like, let me just go on. See if I could just push myself in this, like, because I was, in my mind, I was going to Skyline. Because I didn't think bro was even, I thought bro was going to be at Castleman. Like, and out of all honesty, I thought he was going to be at Castleman over there just selling hella drugs. You feel me? Dropping me off to school, smashing hella female. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that brother was going to be on that route because he was very close to that. And all his friends was that way, right? Everybody he surrounded himself was that way. So it was more of I was happy for him. So now as Mario started to play, like getting this stuff with basketball, now he tries out for the football team. My grandma stays right across the street from Fremont. Like, they're still there. Like, you can see from the field, her apartment was right there overlooking the field, right? So that was our address. We didn't need an address, right? That was our address for my grandma. That's my dad's mom, right? And so from there, we started playing football. You know, bro started playing football. Now I'm at King. I'm still playing basketball. I'm not playing no football no more. But that's when Devlin was on that team. I think Jamario on that team. There was a few people on that Fremont team that he was playing with, but he was bottom of the depth chart. So it was like, bro, what play y'all run? I'm trying to ask him. I'm asking him, like, bro, what position you playing? He like, I don't know. I play the running back, but I'm not the starter, but I'm the person after that. Like, it's cool. Like, so I would sit him down, play Madden, and that's how I started schooling people when it came to playing Madden, because I was so used to trying to teach my brother how to play, to learn the game, to see it. Right? Cover 3, cover 2, man under. I was teaching him all this stuff playing Madden, right? So then he started to, like, that's how I started playing Madden and started getting good at it, because I was able to teach. If I could teach you what I know, then that means I'm a master at what I do, right? So
hey, hold on, let me pause you for a second, Gino. Hey, Ken, did you hear this shit? As good as fucking Mario is, he learned how to play football by playing
Madden. No, but real talk, that's how I learned how to read coverages.
No, reading coverages is like Mario didn't understand nothing.
Nothing.
He didn't even know I was second string.
I'm the nigga after that.
That's why he was laughing. That's why he was laughing. He was like, bro, you gotta ask you. I'm listening to the interview. I'm like laughing because I'm like, bro didn't even know how.
That is just weird, bro. Because like,
the weirdest thing ever.
He was so good.
He was so raw. Like, mind you, I'm his brother, bro, and I see him play basketball, and I'm like, oh, I'm a fan. Like,
yeah, he popped a 3 on me at Fremont.
40. You know how hard it is to score 48 points, bro? Ken, have you ever scored 48 points?
Don't put me on the spot.
Come on, man. What are you doing, G? What are you doing, G? Hey, we run a podcast. We run a podcast here. We ask the questions here, man.
No, but I'm saying he played basketball. He knows.
No. When I played against Mario, I was at Ohio playing against Mario. I had to guard him. I didn't even know he hooped, so he got the ball. I just like started laughing, and then he just whopped the 3 in my head. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, from that little.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
that was his thing. So now it's at Fremont. It's So now Mario is on that JV team. I think was Josh playing. Josh wasn't even playing football this year, right? Fred was playing football that year on the varsity, I believe. So Tabiti, so all them. So when bro ended up going to the banquet with Coach Denny, I go and support. But in my mind, I'm going to Skyline. I'm still going to Skyline, right? Because I'm going to Skyline, man. I know where my heart is. I know what type of football I want to play, right? I'm going to Skyline. I get to the banquet. I think bro must have told him I'm going to Skyline, bro. Like Tabiti, Dave, them, they all surround me, bro. They hella big. Was like, bro, we don't say that S word around here, man. Like, I'm like, damn, man. They's like, man, come on, man. You need to come on. Then Pop's gonna, man, I want all my boys to go to the same. I'm like, man, you ain't had no say so in this at all, bro. Like, I'm like, so the pressure to me is, I want to go to Skyline so bad, but I don't want to disappoint everybody else. So I'm like, so then T.Y. tell me he going to Fremont. So I was like, okay, bet. My boy Cedric Hurst that played with us said he going to Fremont too. So I found out like little Paul Fifis and all them, I'm like, okay, people coming to Fremont. So I'm like, cool. The whole pretty much Frick was going to Fremont, and TY stayed around the corner from Frick. So I'm like, at least I knew I was gonna have them people, and I have my brother and his friends, and I was already there pretty much every day in the summer. I couldn't travel with them, but I was practicing with them, you know what I'm saying? So I can go to Vegas for these tournaments. Like Clint, I already had my little pipeline. So then now I'm 14 years old trying to about to play JV. But that summer, bruh goes from being a nobody back up to Devlin to being the projected starter for the next year.
Quarterback.
So now I'm like, we got to get him. So that's when the Arroyo throwing sessions, that's when the heel work started happening. That's when all the flag stuff started happening, because now I'm not playing no baseball. Can you kind of seen, because from that 13 year when we played 13s when I was on Allen Temple, that was pretty much in my heart, that was my last year of playing, because everybody started to, it wasn't fun as it used to be.
I smashed you in the championship
wasn't
game.
Right there. We was playing some games here, some games there. The games got longer. All them little skaters, the little bugs came up at night games. Like, over there in the outfield. So I was just like, I'm just going to concentrate on football and basketball. So
do you remember me smashing you in the championship game?
Nah, I don't remember that, bro.
I don't remember that.
But I was just watching Major League with Jock Vaughn. I was like, man, my arm feel like Linguini out there. Where Steve used to run me. I was his guy, right?
Yeah.
So
13s was it for me too.
I was his guy. Half the time I wasn't even supposed to pitch. Think about it, I wasn't even a pitcher, but he had me pitching like I was the ace, bro. Like, cause he didn't have nobody else. He knew, he was confident enough to know I was gonna get the ball over the plate. I was gonna strike out with who I need to strike out. And then, that's the way it keep me. But I was batting for it. I was pitching, batting for it.
Hey, so G, when you get to that Fremont JV team, right?
Yeah.
You playing for Coach O'Neal at this time, right?
Coach O'Neal. Now he just left.
He just left that year. Mario's JV year was his last year.
Yep. Coach O'Neal just left. So now it's Coach Ed, Coach Commissioner, the one that was Powell.
Yeah, Powell. Alfonso
on there. I think it's another person that used to coach baseball. He was over there, but it was a few of us.
What
right?
position they threw you at that first JV year? What position did you play?
I played middle linebacker and tight end, and I returned punts and kicks.
You was Archuleta or Urlacher or something, returning punts at middle linebacker.
Tight end. That don't even make sense.
Right.
But I only played the first half, because then I was ineligible the next half.
Wait, right? Gino was ineligible?
I was ineligible the next half. Because, come on now. I'm at Fremont now. Like, technically, I don't even know if we had off-campus lunch. You know me? Like,
but you did.
All those senoritas and stuff, bro. It was a wrap for me. Like, that was that was my thing. It was like my brother had the streets and all that. Like me, it was like I see all these girls. It's a wrap.
This 10th grade.
This is fresh, dog. This freshman year.
This freshman.
Okay. So Fremont had 9th grade?
No, remember they just switched it over that year.
They would switch it after we went. So Ken, you was in private school. You was wearing ties.
Hey, don't put my business in the streets like that.
So my 9th grade year at King, I'm not playing basketball. Me and TY playing JV. So we playing JV football. We trying to play JV basketball. We play varsity baseball and varsity track, right? That's what I did, varsity baseball, varsity track. But every 12 o'clock, I would leave King and get on the 56 and get on the 40, get to Fremont. That's how I would do it. So in the process of me getting there, I'm setting stuff up. I'm like, you're at the house, so half the time I wasn't even showing up. I was doing this, it was a lot of stuff. So that 9th grade year, and that's the year we switched our name from Bologna to Vital.
What was the story with that? Because I remember that.
Yeah, the story is that Bologna was never my last name. That was my grandmother's first husband's last name. But when you win this country circle, that first name, that last name that you have is pretty much how it ends up going. So it's like my dad knew I was I was his and everything, right? And he knew our lineage, but his last name wasn't even wasn't even Vital either. He had his mom's first husband last name too. So then when Pops got out the streets and started getting into church, then that's when, you know, that consciousness came over and he wanted to start, you know, connecting the dots. So him and my mom has been together since my mom was 15 years old. My pops was 18, right? So they've been technically married this whole time, right? So they was like, we gonna do it for real. So they ended up getting married. Pops changed his name to Vital. Married my mom, and then that's when we ended up all changing, our names ended up getting changed from that. So, and then now it's like, huh? What? You know what I'm saying? Like, so this like in that JV year, so from 8th grade, 9th grade, and that's kind of like the years where you try, like people was kind of looking for me. They're like, man, where bro at? Like he not playing basketball at King no more. He not playing baseball for this no more. You see what I'm saying? It was kind of like what happened to him. And then that's when bro ended up coming up and he was Vital all of a sudden, right? So they like, so people who was still around, who was in the circle and then knew everything, they kind of knew it. And that's why they started, the narrative started getting, you know, start focusing on us because it was super intriguing. Red was still playing Babe Ruth. And mind you, killing, pitching. So his name is Vital, but they still got him baloney, and he's the Cy Young of the World Series. You feel me? Like when they go all the way to Kentucky and they win it.
Right.
It's Red, it's Dun, it's Lee, you know, rest in peace.
Thomason.
All them, right? So he takes that team, they get it in, right? The places when we get to River, you was in Riverton with us, right? You went to Utah with us, Ken? Or that was,
no, I didn't go.
That was Chris. That's what Chris was talking about. Yeah. So that Riverton, but that was the furthest we went. We could never get past Utah. You know what I'm saying? We could never get past Utah.
We always got to Utah, but we never got out of Utah.
They would always have some big ass right-hander that was just gunning. Glove sinking. And you see, Steve used to always say, whoo, like, Steve used to always have his little saying. So he was happy, was like impressed by the pitching. You knew it was going to be a rough time. Right? You knew it was going to be a rough time.
Hey, G, hold on. So now, your freshman year, you ineligible for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
What did Denny say to you to get you ready for that next year?
Denny already knew that I was going to get it together. He was like, man, you know what I'm saying? He always used to hit me in the back, hit me on top of the head, be like, leave these girls alone, man. I see you running around. I a story on you. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool, but it wasn't really more Denny. It was more so Coach Mack. Mack was my guy.
McIntyre?
Yeah, Coach Mack was my guy.
Okay.
So from there, like, you know, because Mack would sit me down, he would tell me, you know, say like, leave these girls alone. So me, I think LG, who else? It was me, LG. It was like a few people that was from TY, like my little football squad homies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We all started trying to really just like figure out what we really want to do. But me and LG was super cool, right? Like, I don't know, whatever it was, bro. Like, every time y'all be bringing these names up, bro, it's like, I'll be the one that, like, I'll be there, right? Like, I'm always the person that's there. And I'll be remembering all these stories. I was the little brother who was like, while the conversations was happening, I was sitting there and I would just throw my little 2 cents in because I'm just nosy anyway. So I would just say my little spiel and just be around the whole little situation. And so now I'll get eligible enough to play basketball, right? So I lose that second half of football, but I'm eligible to play basketball. I get my stuff together. Now I'm playing JV basketball. Mind you, I came there. That was one of my reasons to go there because I seen how live it was, right? So I'm playing on this JV team, and we killing. Our JV team raw, right? Now it's perfect for me because I'm pressing. I'm head on the press. You feel me? Like we up tempo. I just couldn't shoot because I never had to, right? I never had to shoot. So now Clint just like, break that wrist. He's just telling me to just get that wrist together because I'm hitting the weights. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do for football. But basketball, my wrist I was like Sean Marion, right? I was Sean Marion. So he was trying to get me to do this the whole time. So half of my time I was on varsity, I was just sitting over there off the backboard, you feel me, just working on my jumper the whole time in preparation for me to be that guard. But it was first off, it was DeAndre, right? And Mark Malone. Then it was Mark Malone and Marquise and Rio, right? And then Lance came in that that 9-9 year out of nowhere, right? Because we was trying to get Lance to run track with us, right? But Lance, when he was just one of those like, I'm about to go to the house. Like he wasn't really, you couldn't get a read on him. He didn't play football, right? Like he just played that. It was weird. It was a weird shit. Like Lance just
Who does that? Who does that? Right?
Yeah, because in football we had issues trying to figure out how many people was going to play. So we would have all these Samoans, bro, all these big men. We would have, but nobody wanted to play football. It was the weirdest stuff ever. So after we would have 32 people start the season, and then by grades come, we had 21, right? 22. So now we pulling up JVs that, says it's not even good, knowing they're not going to get on the field. So I just started working on endurance because I'm like, I need to be there for the fourth quarter to make those plays, right? So I'm thinking I could be fast and do all this stuff in the first, but I need to be there in the fourth to seal the game, right? That was my mentality the whole time. Seal the game, be there for the win, right? So I would, as the season progressed, I would start off with like 10 duck walks, you feel me, after every practice, and I started doing hella duck walks to get my legs right. I would just do duck walk. So then by the time, end of the season, my legs, I'm strong. I know the mud game gonna come. I know it's gonna be weather, the inclement weather. So I'm like, I need to be able to take this. And all I did was work on my shoulders, my back. I barely
So
did.
you did work out.
Only reason I couldn't work out at Fremont, bro, Fremont weight room, if you ever in the Fremont weight room, but the new one, I got to get down there to see it. But that Fremont weight room was basically like, it was like a closet, bro.
Yeah.
Low, too, because you played with Jino for a little bit. Didn't you play with Jino? Oh, no. Well, Gino's claim is he never worked out. So now we know he's lying. We got him on tape saying that he did work out.
It was a closet. So even if I wanted to work out, I couldn't really get a good workout. So I was just going in, get my little issue in. We had this little old machine for the neck, so it was perfect. So neck machine, right? And then they had the like we go to the hotel, somebody donate us the little workout thing.
Typical OAL weight room.
Yeah.
So I would just do the little shoulder press on that. And then but I was, so at this point it's kind of like trying to figure out, because Skyline's up there. I'm working. I work out with Skyline a few times in the summer. So just to see, I just want to see how they was working, right? So Beam, come on up. Come on, Vital. Come on, Baloney, big head. Get up here, right? So
I'm sure he was.
So I come up there, work out, do the 300s. Me and Humphrey, me and Rick, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my guy. So I'm over there. He's trying to get me to throw up. But I'm not. I'm like, but people used to always laugh at me because they used to say that I never looked like I was going 100%, right? Because my face, I was always trying to make stuff look easy for me, right? Even if it was hard, I would just, my demeanor would just like, oh, that's nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get this money. Like, that's how I used to always try to be, because I couldn't let people see my weakness. Even if I was hurting or even if I was tired, I just made it look like, oh, I didn't want that play this time. You know what I'm saying? So when I went up there with Beam a few times to work out, I would just lose on purpose. I wouldn't be competing with them guys. I just was trying to figure out if I can take this back to Fremont with me. How can I? Because we wasn't doing any of this stuff. Denny, my sophomore year, I get on varsity. I'm the starting running back, starting strong safety. My brother's a starting quarterback. First game of the season, we play against Brookside Christian.
That's
UOP. We play him at UOP.
But who was on that team? He was a star. He went to like Tennessee or something. Willie Dixon. Yeah, Willie Dixon. Yeah.
So when I tell you this, I took 2 counters. One was 82, one was 62. They both got called back. I ended up with over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
This your junior year?
This is my sophomore year. It's my first game ever playing football on that level like that. Mind you, I didn't even play the rest of the JV year. So my first game coming into that was that game. I'm wearing number 3. Yeah, I'm wearing number 3 that year. And I just take off. And I'm like, in the stadium, I can feel, I'm like, oh, this easy, right? In my head, I'm like, this running down the field, I'm looking for the jumbo, I'm like, this easy, right? And I remember coming back and I'm looking in the paper and I see Roger Ratliff, player of the week. And I'm like, his numbers wasn't even that much greater than mine. right?
Wait, Gino.
I think he's politicking.
Before you get into this thing, Gino, let me do something real quick. Let me do something. Because you jumped ahead too fast. You went ahead too fast on it, right? You went to your junior. You skipped the whole JV. You went to senior year, my senior year. Hey,
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
I understand. So let me help you out a little bit, man. I always ask people this question, man, because we always say, yeah, this dude was hyped up. I know as a person that didn't go to Skyline was the game I always got myself up for.
Yeah.
In my climates too, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be a little more hype than what we know. We feel like they kind of beat us in the trenches.
In other ways, right?
In other ways, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel anybody that you played against in OAO was underrated? Like didn't get the hype that they should have got? Like they was better than what it was?
In my years, let me think. It's hard, bro. I mean, because you gotta realize I play pretty much every sport. So I'm like trying to bring it to just football, right? I'm just thinking football.
So one of the people that don't never come up, and he was a dog though, man, was Dub C. Brewer, right?
Yeah.
Dub C name never comes up when
never comes up
these running backs and these things.
Because he played with me in red. See what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Dub C never, but when you play against Dub never looked like he was doing stuff intentionally. It's like almost like accidentally he fell into this 50-yard play, right? He was always look goofy when he be running and shit. But it was at this point, Denny is gone, right? So now Walker is there, right? And Dub C plays now with Walker's there. He didn't play his first year, right? He played my senior year. So my senior year and Reds in his senior year, that's when Dub C played. He only played 2 years. But people remember him from my year. This is how anybody who played with me knows. You can ask like Jeremiah, Captain, all them, like, up here, bro, I'm going to make sure you know when it's your time. You feel me? Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready. It's coming to you, right? That's how I talk to him. I'm like, y'all got to be ready for this. We don't get it this first week. Hey, listen, bro, like, it's going to be your time. You're going to get yours, bro. Just keep grinding. Like, I'm going to block for you. I'm going to block. That's how I talk to him because we ran a wishbone. So everything was misdirection. So when we did our blast, Dub and my boy ET used to have to come in fullback. They would double team the linebacker, right? So now JB, TY, whatever, whoever was over there, they would double team the nose. They coming up blasting, and now I got to beat the linebacker, that one linebacker that's literally probably a DB at this point because it's OAL. And I would just make him miss, and I'd be gone. So same thing that happened to Dub. Now, they wanted me to make sure that I took the defense some way, so I would do a fake pitch. I'd come on, loop around, and Dub would come underneath. So now it was just like, there go Dub over there, right? It was he didn't have to work for it, right? So it wasn't like he had to break no tackle. He just ran straight, got tackled, fell, hit the ground. But for me, it was lovely because it took pressure off of me. Now I can come in and kind of do my thing, right? So that's what it was with Dub C. But I love Dub though. Dub was my guy, but he was rated where he was supposed to be because, when you look at before and after, like it was, whether it was his own personal stuff, because Dub was always into some shit anyway, whether it was his own personal stuff or whatever, like he never was able to get back to that level, but for me, he did what he needed to do when they needed to do it. Like I didn't have no problem. You feel me?
I'll give you a name that I would like. Kareem Toney. I feel like he doesn't get it because we talk about Twine. We talk about what other receivers we talk about.
Twine had to work a little bit harder because Twine didn't have no running game.
But I feel like Tony never had a quarterback.
Mario
and still got off.
Mario was the quarterback though.
Mario was a running quarterback.
It's just like being a wide receiver from Alabama, right? You playing run dominant, you doing run dominant all day. So you're gonna get single coverage. All Kareem catches came off double moves. See what I'm saying?
But even to have enough time to do a double move in an OEL, it's like, who the fuck? You don't get no time.
Thank you. So
Boy, do I know.
our Walt came from Texas, so he brought in that smash mouth play action smash mouth.
I felt like Kareem was a wide receiver playing for Georgia Tech.
Yeah. So we couldn't even be Alabama because they actually good. But Kareem was decent. He was okay.
Because Georgia Tech, like I think until this year, I think they were still running the wishbone like last year. Or 2 years
I was a defensive captain, so I knew all the receivers that was out there. So I knew who I needed, who was going to be raw, and who did all. Kareem didn't play no cornerback. All he played was wide. And the team full of. Think about it, on a team with 22, 23 people, you don't play no other position.
Yeah, you got to play both ways.
How are you not playing both ways?
You got to play both ways. But if you know Kareem, you know why he didn't play defense.
Yeah, he was. That's what I'm saying. Half the time it was trying to instill confidence in him, So it was like when I look back at it, mind you, I was a starter from day one on both sides.
And punter.
I was a starter.
And the punter.
No, I was a punter.
and the kicker.
Yeah, and do all that stuff. So yeah, but think about it, I was a starter on both sides, bro. So like I didn't really have an opportunity to really sit back and enjoy a lot of it, right? Because I was always thinking about the next play, trying to figure out how we.
That's a good point.
Play. So then when we did finally blow somebody out, those old highs and stuff, I'm messing with you, kid. But, that was time where you would get those other people, those little touchdowns. And, you would just try to – because you know how much work they put in, because it was really it was an AI experience, right? It was kind of like, let me score, do all the work, and then y'all be called on when we need y'all. And then it worked against pretty much everybody else except for Skyline. Because Skyline had bodies. Just think about it. They just had bodies. If we could get a Skyline bounce back, bro, we was just happy to get a body. We knew we was gonna get a able body who can come out here and do something. Our cornerbacks, my boy Kevin Harris and Mike Martin, they both was under 5'7". They was Keon's, bro. They was Keon proteges, right? They was little, right? Then AB played linebacker junior year, like
AB Blanson.
Yeah, but now you see them now, what I'm saying? They all small, but when they was there, they was just. He was trying to be Dewey. He wore 21.
That's how I think about Lolo.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm like, I look at Lolo now and I'm like, bro, if you would have lifted weights.
That's why I was messing with him. That's why I was messing with him at the gym. I'm like, oh yeah.
Hey man.
If you would have lifted weights until he was playing.
Some soul searching, man. Some soul searching had to happen, man.
But see, Lo, I'm proud of you because I'm like, Lo in here, mind you, Lo. When you came in there, you were seeing me. I was in there, when I see Lo do the same, I'm like, perfect. Like, let's get this money. And when you be in a gym, you see the people that be in there at the same time, you don't even got to speak to them. They're going to give you that look and they be like, okay, bet. You feel me? And that's how I led. I just made sure I was there. And whoever was there with me, okay, let's get it. You see what I'm saying? So then when I had my brother, see, I was fortunate to be in high school with all my brothers. So think about that. I started off with Mario.
That's a good point.
I was ended with Nato, right? So I was in high school with all my brothers. So I was able to, kind of pull and teach them certain things that I would see and, prepare, younger ones for stuff that we already knew. See what I'm saying? So, and then even then, me and T.Y. were super close because we grew up together. But me and Fred started being more close. You see what I'm saying? So think about this. I was the defensive captain. Mario didn't play defense. So I got to talk to these seniors. I got to make sure they're in position. I got to put them in certain positions to make sure that they cool. So that respect level from a youngster, you know what I'm saying, from them looking at me, it was like, oh yeah, he legit. You feel me? When you hear people talk about me, they're like, bruh was legit. You feel me? Because they can talk to me and they know that my football IQ was just on a different level, right? It was a different level.
Real quick, G, I asked you the underrated question, man, but who did you feel was a little overrated? Like, they wasn't worth the hype.
Every Skyline running back.
Every Skyline your year or all years.
Skyline running back.
Hey, we had the debate, was Skyline running back you or was it the system?
I tell you.
Wait. Are we going do you want to specify time frames? Or are you saying in history?
Beam's time at Skyline, was all about O-line getting to the next level. That O-line was way better than any of to this day, Ken, you played Skyline how many times in football?
3.
What defense did they run?
I don't know.
It seemed like they ran a 5-2 and just blitzed the linebackers.
That was before my football literacy.
We had no clue what they were doing.
Yeah.
So they just schemed us to begin with. And none of the coaches.
I think they just sent everybody and was like, "Look, we're just going over here." Just sent everybody. It was like, "Go get the ball."
But now you see what I'm saying. Like even when it comes to these linebackers and these, like when you got competition, when you got everybody and y'all competing against each other in practice, who gonna beat you in the real game? Because we don't have that amount. We don't have that talent across the board. We might have a couple. That's why the legend of Red and Nato, when they went to McClymonds and beating them, was so big because that was huge, right? That was huge because from that what 95 with Fisher and them that almost did it, it was not even close from then on. Right?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So you think every Skyline running back was overrated? I'm gonna just say for the record, I don't agree with that. But okay, you at one point were really wanting to go to Skyline.
Go to college. That was long.
Yeah. But hear me out. So I heard a quote one day that said, I think it was Shannon Sharp. He was like, "Look, man, everybody say it was the system just because Orlandis Gary and Mike Anderson was running for 1,600. But I keep telling people if that was Terrell Davis, it would have been 2,000 or 2,500.
Yes, yeah.
Is that what you're saying about yourself? Like them dudes was good, but shit, if I would have went to Skyline, I would have been All-American, not just all OAL.
Yeah. I played offense, defense, and special teams. I wasn't just on defense. I was the defensive captain. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I was a defensive captain. So it's like I had spent all this energy trying to stop somebody, and then I got to come out here and score the points. And then don't let the run get called back. Now, I take a play off. I walk off the field, come back around, let Dub C get his little 2-yard run, and come back in and break for the touchdown again. And then I got to come back out there, and then I got to kick the ball off, and then I got to make sure to do the save and tackle because they can't tackle anybody. And then I'm over here now. They start on the 40, and I got to go back there and return the punt. Come on, bro.
To whom much is given, much is required.
Hey,
and Lo, think about this. And out of all that stuff I was doing, ask any coach, they're going to tell you I was a better defensive player than I was offensive.
I would say that too. I would agree with that.
So you see what I'm saying? So I was already tired playing defense.
If you go to Skyline, how many yards you run for?
I'm not even playing running back.
So listen, you said the Skyline running backs were overrated and stuff like that. I had a great start bench cut I wanted you to do, and it included 2 Skyline running backs, right?
Okay.
So one is the start bench cut. You got Derek Whiteside, you got Humphrey Garrett, and you got your teammate Dub C.
Out of all those, I think Whiteside was the better running back because he was elusive, right? Humphrey, I would start Whiteside. I would bench Humphrey, and I would cut Dub, just because it's just more. You just got more body of work.
So do that mean Dub was overrated?
Dub wasn't overrated. Dub was rated where he was supposed to be. Now, if you threw me in there, it's a different story. You see what I'm saying?
You're not cutting yourself, though.
But I was the starter, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, Dub wasn't the starter. Them 2 started, right? Humphrey started, and then you got Siona in there, the little Samoan that played on the team, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know me? But out of all that, if you put the next year when Terry came in, Terry was, in my opinion, Terry was probably one of the best running backs that they ever had.
Well, where do you compare yourself to Terry?
But that's different. But at that time, Terry didn't have to play in all those positions.
But I got a question. Did Terry only do that one season?
One season.
Do it become a Roger Ratliff type of story?
But Terry was a big dude. Roger was little. He didn't break no tackles, right?
Yeah, he did.
I was like, Raj wasn't little at all. Maybe short, but not little.
Short, but he was.
But I'm saying, like,
y'all type build.
Yeah.
Roger was short, but he didn't. To me, he didn't break no tackles. The person that was the Ross on that team out the backfield was Rob.
Rob Grant was the more elusive one.
You know what I'm saying? He was the one that I was like, oh, like I want to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's because I'm out of my game. I wasn't a put your head in there and like try to run people over type person, because I had to make sure that I didn't have concussion, I didn't get my bell rung, because I had to be out there for other plays, right? So when you have that freedom of knowing that you can just run hard with no repercussion, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's a different confidence that you breed. You know what I'm saying? So when you coming in and you only have to play one position, and that's your only position, and you already know that this is what's crazy about playing against Skyline. My sophomore year, we played against them. We lose like 50-something to 3, right? I had to wear number 99 that year. Something happened to my uniform. I don't know. But I remember playing safety, and I'm 2 shell, right? Why we had 2 shell, I have no clue. Maybe because they didn't want to throw the ball over our heads. But by the time I come out my little, you know what I'm saying, my little read, because you got to take your 2 steps back, you know, make sure I'm reading. I got linemen in my grill. That was playing Skyline. Before you get, I'm 10, 12 yards off the ball already. And as soon as the ball is hiked, they got a lineman coming straight to me. So where the hell are everybody else? So if you running full speed, but no, like, of course, I just look at it because once Terry got there, the competition got a little better. Because that year with Roger and them, that was like a rebuilding year for a lot of people. Think about that, Lo. That was your year with Mike in there, right?
Yeah, but at the running back position, it was pretty deep still. You had Mikey was one, Rod Ratliff was another one, and Mac had 7 D1s that year with Josh Johnson and Ramin White. They put at 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm saying Ramin was my guy. Ramin, he the only person who he trucked me, bro. Like that was my welcome to the OL moment.
But you fucking 3 years younger than Ramin, though.
But see, in my opinion, yes, I am 3 years younger, but I'm looking at my size, my girth, bro. I'm 185 pounds. You see what I'm saying? I'm 185. I wrestle with people. You feel me? I'm looking at these cats. I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm not backing down. Ramin did a it was like on 22-yard line going. We had Kurt Flood. He do a single back, reverse pivot, came back with the option. Came up, squared up on me immediately, right? So I'm at the goal line. So I'm like, how do I keep him from getting out? So I go up to him, I break down, he left, right, boom. I see nothing but just Warrior stickers in my shit, bro. And all of a sudden, he just walking over me in the end zone. It was like, welcome to the NFL. Welcome to the OEL. That's how I felt, right? So then from then on, I'm like, I never had to play against him again. But even after that being said, I blocked the field goal to end the game, and not knowing, this is Bill Belichick shit, not knowing that I could scoop and score, and it would be, you know what I'm saying? That's how we lost the game. We played against Tech that year. I dropped like 4 screen passes. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't catch them. They was coming. I was seeing them. I was putting them in there. And I'm just seeing it's just wide open. And I couldn't, and I don't know what it was. Somebody's daughter must have did something to me that day. I don't know what it was, bro, but I just didn't have no.
Hey, man. I got 4 daughters, and Lo got a couple. We can refrain from.
But I couldn't get it. So, you know what I'm saying? So then after that whole game was over, we lose to Cedric, what's Cedric? Emerson getting tackled on the 1-yard line. You feel me? In the game. So we end these games with basically we just don't know how to win them. So like you said, Skyline was your get up game. You know, Mac was your get up game. For me, it was always Tech and Mac. Tech and Mac was my get-up games because Skyline I was already going to get up for because that was my film. I'm looking at that's my film against competition. But Tech and Mac was my get-up games after that because I felt like I lost those games. See what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I feel like I lost those games. And that you look at my stats from then on. So the next year I housed a kick, I got a punt return. I got I got all my interceptions, a whole bunch of stuff from there. My senior year, I scored 7 touchdowns against Tech, bro.
Do you feel like you are underrated? It sounds like that's what it sounds like.
No, I'm bro.
It's not a Vital that's underrated, Ken.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, but I feel like listening to him, like he think he underrated. Like
As an athlete, though, G, I would say as an athlete, you know, because now they do the position where you get recruited as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
If we have to go recruit you now, your recruitment would be an athlete, right? As opposed to you being recruited at a specific position.
But see, back then they had utility. It was
utility, yeah.
Mind you, I didn't even make all my Mario and Red made cream of the crop. I didn't make it.
Who made it over you?
Marviel, Kurt.
Underwood.
What's his name? Big dude that went to that ended up going to LMC. Los McDonald's.
Will Smith.
Will.
Are you talking about defensively?
No, he played. I'm defense and offense, and I'm utility. So it's like I don't get the Marviel hype. Kurt made it. Mind you, DJ was Gatorade on both sides, so it didn't matter. So that's my guy. You feel me? DJ was both sides. So it's like, you know, you see all these other little cats, you be like, but that's because they were in their division.
Position.
Was doing their thing.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this infamous Bishop O'Dowd game, man.
Got to.
That game gets talked about so much still to this day, right? They say you made one of the biggest hits in Fremont history against Bishop O'Dowd that day. What happened? And like they had Kirk on that team. Who else they had on that team?
They had Kirk.
It was loaded, bro.
They had Matt Fontaine.
Was Corey Lynch on that team?
Corey Lynch on that team. Michael Sadler, Josh Dean.
Grabbing my ankle at the end of it. so we go up and play Bishop O'Dowd. Mind you, it's circled on there. We just lost to some team called Ponderosa or something in Sacramento.
Mind you, Bishop O'Dowd never plays any OAL school. So this is like, finally.
It's Saturday. It's Saturday, 12 o'clock. Sun beaming. Fucking dirt field, right? We used to it. I know Kurt. I know all of them. Josh Dean played Allen Temple with me. So I know all of them. So I'm Villa, some tight end.
Nick Villa, he went to Montana.
Right. So I'm up for it. So we come out. I'm talking about Kent Lowe. I'm out here laying the wood, bruh. I think we just got Dub C back. You feel me? Like, so I'm like, cool, Red playing. We finally said Red gonna play quarterback instead of these other cats that we was having. Boom. I'm like, yes, we can finally get a chance to like have a little, you know, continuity coming in. So I'm out there killing. I'm talking about defensively, it's probably one of my better games. Every time, because I knew what they was doing, smash mouth play action, bring the tight end across, you feel me, post over, backside post. It was the same stuff every time, stretches, all that. So I'm like, this is nothing. So I'm shooting gaps, boom, tackles in the backfield, everything you can name. We get down towards the end. It is 7-6, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, it was close.
We get down towards the end. I think they score again. And it is 13-7 or something like it's 13-7. People thought it was closer than that, but we end up losing like I think it was 13-7. We end up losing. Mm-hmm. So this is how to play. This is how this whole thing goes. So we get down to the goal line. We run the same play 3-4 times in a row. It was a blast to the right, 32 blast, right? So I'm like, no problem. I'm gonna get it. And every time they just before I can get the ball, they add my ankles. I'm trying to get over the top, you know, squeezing it, and I'm looking at them like, damn, I didn't get it. And I'm like looking at coach like he's like, do it again. We kept doing it. We didn't get it. And then the next play, they tried to run a stretch. I go and I hit the running back so hard in the backfield before he even get the ball. It was one of those Clowney plays. It looked like Clowney, where I get him, boom, rocks him, bam. And then all of a sudden I see Red behind me. Now, mind you, it's the same. It felt the same way how it was when we lost to Mac with the block field goal. Because I was the one like this, right? Now I see Red behind me like this, jumping in the air. And then the ball, and I turn back and I say, the ball. And he looked back and And then they and the running back picks the fullback picks it up, or quarterback, somebody picks it up, runs that out the end zone to like 10, 15 yards. And I'm like, oh, I'm just like, damn. But at that point, bro, it was such a hard fought game. People were coming back to us. They was like, bro, I think that game just put us on the spectrum as pretty much the South Bay, right? Because we was already over here in the North Bay in Oakland, but it was like the HAL going down Southern, they started to really understand, because all you heard was Vital on the tackle, Vital with the run, Vital on the catch, Vital on the pass, Vital on the tackle, Vital, Vital, Vital. It was just Vital everything. Vital scores, Vital this, Vital first to fumble. And they was just like, I ain't never heard nobody don't just dominate a game like that. And then that's when the buzz started coming. So guess what ends up happening? Sports Focus come to Fremont. I got blonde hair. They right there on High Street, Bernstein and everything like this. I'm talking to me the whole time. That's what I'm saying, Ken. When you talking about, like, do I feel underrated? Hell no. Ain't nobody else had no sports.
Nah, but you glossed over the hit with Kirk, and we got to talk about it. Like, we can't release this interview.
What's about my hit?
Yeah, we can't release this interview without talking about the hit with Kirk.
No, it was an option play. We do the option on the goal line. I get it. I see Kirk coming. Mind you, I could stop and do all these other things, but I'm like, I need to score. But I'm not gonna go heads up with him because I see Kirk. He got the neck roll. So in my mind, I'm not gonna get my ankle rolled over or nothing. Because mind you, bro, I'm thinking defense. Offense, we gonna figure it out. But defense, I gotta keep them out the end zone. So I go and I see him. I'm like from the 5. This is how you know I didn't want no smoke. I'm from the 5, and I just takes off, ball in the hand and everything. And I'm just like, I know he gonna hit me. But I just want to make sure I get this end zone. So when he hits me, boom, he crosses me. He catches me all in the Fremont, right? And mind you, I'm on the pylon, and now I'm at the dirt track. Now I'm at the fence. I'm at the fence.
But how did you get play of the week then?
Because they said because I took such a big hit, you see what I'm saying, and still held on to it, and it was for a score. It was a.
Oh, you did score.
It was a monumental play.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Because I jumped from the 5. I Reggie Bush that shit.
Nah, it was wrong.
I Reggie Bushed it, bro, before Reggie Bush.
Yeah,
I jumped from the 5, and I knew I was going to get hit. But the whole time I'm looking at it like, it's like one of them Al Bundy moments, And I'm looking at it like this. I'm like this. And I see him coming. I'm like, boop. And I take the hit, and I'm just looking at the ground like this. And I see myself come over the little pylon, and like he hit me, and he propelled me back up a little bit. So now I'm like, I got to brace myself on this dirt. It's a dirt gravel track over here, bro. And I just fly all the way over here. I still got the scar from it. That's how crazy it was, because I hit all dirt and just all the way into the fit. Got up. Let's go. You feel me? And then that's why. But when you look at it from when they got that picture, matter of fact, I got the picture right here, the player week.
Hey, you can't just leave out there. You gotta have that stuff ready.
That was Jino in a nutshell right there.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
that's wrong.
Kurt is on the goal line. This is the goal line right here. I'm already in the air, bro.
Jino, you look hella big.
I'm here.
Damn.
You feel me?
That was raw, bro.
I'm already in the air, so I already knew it was coming. So I just wanted to just make sure I absorbed it so I can just roll it off and then, like on stuff like that. So that's basically what I did. And from then on, I'm telling you, like, it was just everything. So then the next game, I think we played MAC for home. No, we played MAC for homecoming, we lose. But that's when the infamous.
But y'all lost to MAC?
We lost to MAC in the homecoming the next week because
wow,
the field it hadn't. It's dry as hell. It's Oakland, and we get to our field and it's just swamp, just full of nothing but it's just slushy. The field is all soggy. We like, what happened? This our home field, but you know how West Oakland cats, they gotta make sure they gotta make it even. So they came out, you know what I'm saying? And they came out and they did their thing. They beat us that game. And then I was just like, but Sports Focus was out there for that. You know what I'm saying? They were out there for that because it was our homecoming. And then I returned the punt. I had another play. I think I still scored my 3. I scored 3 touchdowns a game. So when you look at my senior year, bro, I had like over 24 touchdowns, over 1,700 yards rushing. I was averaging at least 3 sacks a game. You feel me? Like I was all over the field. So I had offensively, I had some of the best numbers you could ever talk about. And then defensively, I had some of the greatest numbers you could ever think of when it came to it.
Hey, Jino, we had did this running back list, right? Yeah. Top 10. Did you get a chance to ever see that list?
Was I on it?
No.
You think you should have been on the top 10 running back list from them eras? Because you said, like, you rush for 1,700, 24 touchdowns, 1,700 yards, required to also be the best person on defense, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel you should have, like, a top 10 running back list through the era? We went from 95 to 2005. Do you think you should have been on that list?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so here's the list. Here's the list, because I gotta ask who you would replace. Okay, so we went from 96 to 2004. That was what. All right, so we got that. Just when I get to a name, just tell me if you should replace this.
I'm gonna just tell you stop, because I'm gonna tell you stop at the first one.
DJ Williams.
Oh, DJ, yeah, that's my dude, bro.
Okay. All right.
DJ was a monster, bro.
All right, Atari Callan.
That was some other shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Atari Callan.
Okay, I give it. Yeah, they 1-2 punch, bro.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
But you saying this is all from the same team?
Hold on, hold on. Let Ken finish, and we gonna talk about that. You know,
Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
Ken Simonton.
Where you from? Get there. Okay. Jackie
Crooks.
I don't even know who Jackie is.
All right. Ask about him. Mikey. Jackie Crooks went to Logan.
What year?
He was he graduated
class of 96.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I ain't never heard of him before.
No, dude. Mikey Denard.
I can go over Mikey.
Okay, now here's where I know you about to have some issues. So let's talk about it. Treston, Raj Ratliff, and your brother Red.
My brother definitely on there.
Okay.
Because you gotta realize, like, Marshawn's senior year is what y'all talking about. Y'all not talking.
I heard about Marshawn when he was a sophomore.
No, we're not talking about.
Just high school.
It was high school. His senior year was the catapulted him on this list. But like we knew Red and them, like his junior year, Red and them, and not on them was the guys. You know, we talk about.
Red at Fremont his sophomore year, right? Red at Fremont his sophomore year still did his thing, right? Red at Fremont his junior year did his thing.
Red is on the list.
No, we asking you who would you replace on the list if you say you top 10. That means we got to take somebody off. Otherwise, it's a top 11.
I'm taking Mikey off. I'm taking Treston off. I'm taking like you got to take some of them.
Yeah, who?
De La Salle's off. Like you got to because that's more system than it is.
So Rod Ratliff was on this list too.
Out of the Roger Ratliffs, because of his impact, in that era, you only put one Skyline running back on there. So I can't take away from a Skyline running back because
took away from their whole decade of Skyline running back.
And I'm like Giannis, Frank. I'm like, damn, no of them was good.
On the list. I'm on the list. I'm just talking about the list. It's just,
I know, but Gino, you said they all overrated anyway, so they shouldn't even be on the list.
But I'm saying, Atari, if Atari goes to Ohio, you think Atari gonna do what he did?
I think if Atari goes to Skyline, yes.
Thank you, because you're talking about the same type of dominance.
I think if Atari goes, I mean, yeah, you gotta have I believe if I played at Skyline, I would have been better. Like you gotta have a team. Like you gotta have you know what I'm saying?
Talking about people that don't even make like you think if Gaddafi goes to Skyline, think he's not better than Humphrey?
No.
I don't think that.
No. And I would say this, you my guy. Like I'm gonna tell you at the end of this interview, like you are my guy. I do believe Atari Callan, if he goes to Fremont, puts up better numbers than you. I do think he's a better running back.
But did you just hear me say that I played every down?
Yeah, but he played safety too, though. He played safety too.
That's why I tell you, DJ is number one, bruh.
Yeah, DJ's number one.
Hands down number one, because DJ played everything. and he was an animal.
But Atari played defense as well.
DJ. Atari is the Dub C of me. You see what I'm saying? He played off of DJ.
No, you can't do this.
Atari was there before DJ. Atari's older than DJ.
I know that, but Atari didn't become Atari until until Atari we talk about, until DJ came there. Because DJ brought a different level of big plays to that team, bro. So I'm saying, but you gotta realize DJ didn't play just 1 year. DJ played 3 years, bro.
I get it.
So did Atari.
But Atari didn't play. When did Atari play without DJ his freshman year?
Yeah. No, it's sophomore.
He played. He played 3 years. I think he played 3 years varsity.
He played 3 years varsity. So I guarantee you, if you look at his numbers from there, you look at his numbers senior year, because DJ played his junior and his senior year. But it's just
no. I mean, obviously playing with DJ helps. Yes, like we're not going to deny that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta Simonton didn't play with DJ or Atari, so like he had to hold his own. So that's a different.
No, though. Simonton has Shenard Hartz, man. That nigga was raw.
But he's not on that list.
No, because he was a receiver.
Older.
He's the receiver.
And he's older.
Having a receiver is different. But when you talk about the lineman, the one that went to Notre Dame, all these kids is on there. Like you look at my lineman. I had a lineman that go to Fresno State, and I had a lineman that.
You had 2 linemen that go to Fresno State, didn't you?
No, I had 1.
Not just T.Y.
Where did Johnny Brown go out of high school?
He went to Laney with me.
Oh, he didn't go nowhere first. Didn't come back to Laney.
Johnny Brown went to Laney with me, and Johnny Brown was my guy.
He played with me at Laney. He played with me at Laney too.
Yeah, Johnny Brown was at Laney. And then you had Stephen Bell that ended up going to Temple that nobody even knew about because he's 6'9". You feel me? He was 6'9". And we didn't when he played with me, he wasn't clearly that guy, but he was a body, that still, Omar. He didn't play against Omar. He played against Kurt Johnson and them. He played 1 year with me and then 1 year with Red and them.
So are you up there with Mo Jones-Drew? Are you up there and just running back? Are you up there with Mo Jones-Drew?
Yeah, easily.
I saw Mo Jones-Drew play in high school, bro. That was a different level.
But you looking at them playing one position with a system, with a line that they just, you seen them play.
So
think about this. The time I played against Tech, this was when Aaron Early and them was there. Though you was gone. This is I scored. I think it was 6 touchdowns on offense, and then I had a pick 6 to end the game. Right, I had a pick 6 to end the game. And then the same night, DJ scores. I scored 6 touchdowns. DJ scored 7. You see what I'm saying? That's how we work. My senior year was always, I'll do something early. DJs do something late. Marviel do something over here. Kurt do something over there. It was that we was feeding off each other like that, and it was great because they was able to, San Leandro still kind of ran a similar thing the wing T kind of stuff that we was doing, but it's different when you have bodies. When you have 60 people, 70 people out there, you don't have to play all these plays, bro. Like, I'm doing this shit with 22.
No. So I get what you're saying, and all of that is true. I get what you're saying. I'm going off of, because a lot of these people on the list, I either saw personally.
And you only putting Red on there for the year that he beat McLean.
No, listen. No,
he only played one position. He didn't have to play quarterback there.
No, but I get all that. But hear me out. Most of these people on the list I saw with my eyes, either as a spectator, played again. I didn't play with any of them, or played against. So I saw a lot of this is not like folklore. Like, I saw. I'm going. Numbers are one thing, and numbers do lie. Like you say, if you don't have to play defense, you can play for a system. I get all that. But I'm going off of like what I saw. The only people I can, and then this is all opinion, right? Like, none of this is fact, right? So the only, in my opinion, I can argue with you, Raj. I will hear you out because it was only 1 year. I understand that, and it was Scott. I get that. Treston, I've seen. I would say you guys, like, I would entertain an argument there. Mikey, I would entertain an argument there, but from Jackie Crooks, Ken Simonton, Marshawn Lynch, Maurice Jones-Drew, Atari Callan, DJ Williams, that was a different level to me.
But I didn't say DJ is the number one. Now, if you talk about when he was talking about that running back that nobody talked about, that was from McLean.
I don't know his name, but I know you're talking about that.
Right. That was my guy. I didn't know who he was. He was a myth to me, bro. Like, and I seen tape on.
Why doesn't anyone know his name?
And I was sitting there. I'm sitting there like this. I'm like, who is this dude, bro?
Yeah.
He was that real, Ken. So when I look at the Rodgers, when I played against Roger, when I seen Roger play, it was the same as Atari. It was just, shoot, they get to a hole, they gone. Only time I see Atari break a tackle, that was the tackle that I seen him break was against my boy Chip when they played against Scott Lyman. He boop, got him they hit him in the line of scrimmage, and you see Atari feet just, and he out the house. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never seen I never seen Roger do that. St. Francis games, the De La Salle games, all those games, I didn't see them do that. You know what I'm saying? I seen Terry do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I seen Terry go through a line, boop, 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 and come out that motherfucker, stiff arm somebody, high kick, you feel me, and beat to the house wearing 28 with the back flap going. You feel me? I seen Terry do that. And that was against different levels of talent too, because you have to go from just being the person that knew everything to now everybody's starting to catch up, the playbook's out, internet's here, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Right, so now he went from being just this messiah to like somebody who can be beat. And that's what I'm saying. When Terry was there, when I seen Terry play, I knew Terry from baseball, right? And Terry he's not a little dude. He reminded me of DJ. See what I'm saying? Terry reminded me of DJ Williams, bro. Me playing defense, knowing that how I gotta tackle these dudes, like it's different from me just looking and say, okay, this little person is just running, boom, boom, boom. But me having to tackle you is a whole different thing. Like you can have all the yards and everything, but how much is that yards after contact? You see what I'm saying? How much is that yards?
Right. No, it does matter. It does matter. Now where I would argue, hold on, my bad, Love.
There's another thing.
But I would I would make stronger arguments for you as a DB, because even when we played in that Alameda County game, like I felt like you belonged with the Marviels, the Kirks, the Mike Smiths. When you were on defense, I felt like, okay, he stacks up there with them.
But see, that's the thing. And if you really think about it, bro, I was actually coming to Fremont to be a wide receiver. I didn't even have no intentions of playing running back. I was playing wide receiver. I came there, did everything with my brother. I was wide receiver. Ken, the only time you ever played with me, bro, what happened?
4 touchdowns.
From what? From the wide receiver.
Or coming out the backfield. Yeah.
Catch the ball, tip the ball to me, open field.
Hey, Lo, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. So, and my stats look real good because of Jino from that game.
This when I say that athlete utility position.
Yeah.
Definitely I'm going with Jino, right?
Absolutely.
And I return punts and kicks. So definitely in my head, I'm Devin. I'm not even Devin Hester, bro. I'm like Mel Gray.
Rolls or something.
Metcalf and Tavares Vandover. Those are the people I was trying to be like, bro. I wasn't trying to be just like Emmitt Smith and all these I was trying to be.
Now, if I'm starting a football team, like I just got to start from scratch, bro, I got to give me Jino because he gonna do whatever I need him to do.
But Jino, let me ask you a question though, because we talked this whole interview and it was like you and Red in the beginning, then you and Red did a lot of the other stuff together. Like, were you and Red the closest of the brothers?
No.
Like, did you guys have like this, me and this brother closer, and me and that brother closer? Like y'all all the same?
It was me and Mario, and then it was Red and Nato. We pretty much was like this. So when we got to high school and Mario left, Red was still Red, but I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? He was still a baby to me. But me and Red are closer in age than me and Mario is. So Mario was the older playing with the youngers. Me, I was the younger playing with the olders. Red was the older playing with the youngers, and Nato was the younger playing with the olders. So it's kind of like we kind of like merged into this. So it seemed like it was 2 years here, 2 years there. But from 1996 to 2003, you feel me? That's when we was in OL. You know what I'm saying? We were trying to find a way. That's why I say Mario had the toughest time because he had no clue what he was getting himself into. He had to work for everything. So by the time Nato got through his, he already had this brother, that brother, this brother, that brother. You feel me? He already had all these brothers to do it. So expectation was like, okay, we got a little bro on the team. We're going to be set. And that's why I look at Nato. He always had the Ross deal because at this point, nobody was at the crib. We
So,
were all gone. So none of us seen him play.
so we had asked, if you saw the interview with Mario, we had asked Mario like to rank the brothers. So how would he rank the brothers? Some type of question I asked Mario, some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Red because of what he did.
So it was Red. Did he say Red? You, Mario, Donato?
And if you ask Nato gonna say me, Red, Mario, Nato. You feel me? That's how. And then me, I'm gonna say myself because I know I was there. You feel me? I was there. So
Right.
so Mario never seen me play my senior year. Mario
He was gone. He was going to college.
my freshman that I didn't play, my sophomore year that I won an MVP from. Even Coach Denny said I was better than Mario, right? So and then the next year, Coach, then I hurt my calf that year, right? So think about this. My junior year, we played against Tech. I scored 4 touchdowns, right? Moneyball on the team. He does nothing. I'm playing tight end. He playing tight end. I'm locking all this stuff with Antoine them. That shit that didn't exist when I was out there. When we played him in the playoffs, I didn't play. I tore my calf muscle. Then that's when you see the impact of me not being there. Now you see all this other stuff happen. Do you see what I'm saying? People look at just yards. That's why bro. I turned down the Laney Football Hall of Fame. I said no thank you to this shit. Do you understand me? Because I was not supposed to be there. So of course I should be a Hall of Famer. Why should I even? I was never supposed to be there. I had all these other schools after me, and I'm over here taking congratulations for some JC stuff that I should have. That was exactly what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
That was an argument you put forth before on Facebook with a me and Jay Gaff type of argument.
Yeah, like, Lo, you wasn't supposed to be there.
And your thing was like, Lo, man, just that you in this conversation with Jay Gaff, I give it to Jay Gaff because you shouldn't even been there in the first place.
Been there. Lo, you had world-class speed, bro. You had everything that you needed, right? The only problem is that, like your story saying, you was pulled in certain directions because of what you were accustomed to, right? Now, how you said that it was 2 people that you said that was smart football players, and me and E. Cole. I never got recruited to University of Akron. E. Cole called me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what was your? So yeah, go ahead.
Let's back up real quick. Though, because now I'm thinking Mario going to Prairie View. Your next year, your senior year come. Did you go somewhere after your senior year before you came back to Laney?
No. So my senior year goes. That's what that whole Kurt Morris and all that stuff. But I always tell people, my first game of the season, I had 272 yards, 4 touchdowns, 13 tackles, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. Nobody even talk about that stuff, right?
No,
so
I remember.
Fast forward all the way to the end, playing this All-Star game with Ken. I do that in San Francisco. SF City trying to get me. Mario comes back, whole thing with Kareem Toney. He tells me he wants to go to somewhere down in LA to the same place where Steve.
They was at Santa Monica.
It was one of Santa Monica's or St. Antonio's or something. Like that. He wanted to go down there. I said, bro, we're not about to do that. You already got in trouble one place, bro. I'm not gonna let you go to LA, do this stuff. I'm like, bro, I was supposed to prop at Oregon State. It was me, Ken Simonton, Ken, what's his name? Simon, the one that just
Terrell Roberts.
Yeah, Terrell Roberts. Me, Terrell Roberts. It was another one that was there too. But I was supposed to prop at Oregon State. Then the coach, defensive court, I was going for safety. He ended up going to Washington State with Josh them because it was always Josh and Fred, that little pipeline there. They was always looking at that. I had UCLA. Of course, I had Oregon. You feel me? It was a whole bunch of people after me. But I was trying to figure out if I was going to prop. And then Mario came back, and I was like, bro, if you go to Laney, I go to Laney. That's what I told him. I said, you go to Laney, I go to Laney. So, of course, we got the whole Coach Pete little playbook, the little rundown. He comes to the house. He's sitting in the house popping the video on the VCR. So people, they laugh at me, bro. They was like, you the only person I ever know got a scholarship to go to JC. I had a scholarship to go to JC, bro. I had the Ken Harvey scholarship fund.
Oh, the Ken Harvey? Yeah. The
Pay
Ken
for all my
Harvey,
stuff.
yeah.
Because Pete put me and Mario in all the same classes so we can have the same books. Mind you, me and Mario go through that season. That's when, T and because you wasn't there, Lo. It was me, Matt, Green, all them. So I'm playing offense at this time. Devon Harding, all this, right? So, but Pete is like rotating. I'm not used to rotating and me not doing nothing. So like my energy is off. And he not letting me wear no gloves. You feel me? He not doing nothing. So I'm like, he not doing that. So they start trying to pull me to defense. So I started playing a little defense, right? And then we knew this team we played against Butte. We was in that Butte, that whole
Fresno City League.
That one, right? We was in that one. So we was the baby team. It reminded me of my sophomore year. We were losing, but not by much. We were just losing like 27, 23, 19, 12, stuff like that. We just couldn't move the ball because we had freshman quarterback, freshman everything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to defense. So that summer, I ended up taking a couple night courses. But this is a real Oakland shit, bro. This is the craziest story, bro. Me and Mario do our financial aid late so we can get everything in the second half, right? So y'all can have all your little epic dice games and stuff, right, Lo? So he wanted to get the whole thing in the spring semester. So we do it then. We get our money. I don't see bruh for a little bit. He don't see me for a little bit. We meet up. He told me, how much he gave moms and everything. And I'm like, how you give her so much, bro? It was like, man, So we found out that he had another different number than I had in financial aid. So he had like almost like 8 bands and I had like 65, right? So I'm like, that's weird, bro. We got the same information. So I go to the thing, bro. I kid you not, they gave me a whole nother 85, bro. And didn't even ask for that 65 back. Low.
Oh,
2 night classes. I don't think I ever stepped foot in them night classes again, bro. You see what I'm saying? So at this point, I get to the summer and I'm like ineligible. And I'm back on that track of not being able to graduate on time. So I'm like, I'm going to put myself on punishment. I'm just going to work. I go to, I start working at the airport at UPS. I'm slaving over there. And then I ended up going to Eastmont, go get one of them classic burritos. And I'm sitting in there and dude come up to me. He was like, how would you like to make $500 a month for only working 2 days out the month? So in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm over here at UPS doing boxes, doing like, man, what you talking about, bro? Is it legal? He's like, have you ever thought about the Army Reserves? And I was like, I don't know about that. So then I go and take a little, he swindled me in there, take a little practice test. Boom, I get like an 86 on it. All you need is the 35. So I get like an 86. So he's salivating like, man. So he take me to the house. My mom's pull up and everything. And they like, what you doing? So long story short, I go to the military that summer. And that's when y'all come. That's when you come to.
I come back.
So, okay. So for some reason, I thought you went to the military right after Fremont.
No. So
you played running back at Laney. I remember that.
No. And then
you went to the military.
Then I left. And then I was supposed to be on that team playing DB. I was supposed to play defense that year with my brother and them, right? I was on that same trajectory as that was because we were all in that same time. So when I left, I came back. That's when y'all was gone. So now I'm in that JB. I'm in that that.
So now I'm at DVC.
2001 class, right? So I'm the OG in the 2001. So that's how Jeremiah come into play because now he's my safety. He's my free safety. I'm the strong safety. People till this day they like, bro, you the only person who can talk to Ooch like that because Ooch was the coach. I'm like, Ooch, why are we checking into that? Like, stop, man. Why can't we do? I'm telling him like, no, let's run this way. You feel me? Like, we've been doing this for so long. Let's run it this way, Ooch. We arguing on the field. Next, I do it my way. Boom. Pick 6. You feel me? It was just like that. I had Tate Campbell on the outside, JB up the middle, my boy Matt Swan. You feel me? It was little Manny was on the team. Real Hardy was the cornerback. You feel me? And we was tops in the state. I win defensive player of the year of that, bro. Jeremiah had 13 interceptions.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I win defensive player of the year.
Hey, so how did you? Now you finish that season and you go to Akron. Cole, you didn't even no recruiting trips, no nothing.
Because now this is a year that Red just balled out at McClymonds. So now San Jose State is trying to recruit him. They're trying to recruit the whole family. The article was still up. It was like me and Red and Nato in there. And they was trying to recruit the whole family. So it's supposed to be my cousin Chris. That was from Langton Creek in Texas.
Coming from Texas,
Texas. Mario, right, was supposed to come back. He just graduated. That's what he just left. Red was there. Me and Nato was coming out the next year, right? Red go to school there. Stuff don't fall out. Everything's just going haywire. They're not even in class. All this stuff going on with the program. And I'm like, they never even talked to me about no scholarship. I don't even know who they are. They know my brothers and my family, but they never said nothing to me, right? So, but here it is, Pete telling everybody that I'm going to San Jose State because he's trying to create that pipeline from Laney to San Jose State. Why not put the Vitals in there, so you see Nevada there. Bro, you really think you want to go there? You see all these other schools. You see Cal. Like, yeah, you want to go there? I'm like, what you talking about? I'm like, man, y'all can talk to me if y'all want. Here go my number. Hit me up. So long story short, I go down to San Jose State on like a Monday. It was right. The signing day was Tuesday. I don't even get a chance to talk to the head coach. They sent me a D-line coach. Like, we was thinking that, you could use your GI Bill, to do that because you're using the military. I was like, wait. I'm like, if I'm going to use my GI Bill to go to college, bro, I'm not coming here. Like, I'm like, why don't I go to SC or somewhere, bro? Why don't I go somewhere else? I'm like, I still got eligibility. I can still redshirt if I wanted to. I was like, I can do whatever I want because when you go to the military, your clock stops, right? So I was like, I can still do whatever I want. And then next the next day, Tuesday, no signing day come, and I'm not on the list. E-Code called me probably around like 2:30, 3 o'clock that day. And he was like, bro, man, what's up, man? Like, I didn't even see you, so you didn't sign with nobody. I'm like, yeah, man, they was over there. I'm like, man, he's like, how many trips you took? I was like, man, I had a couple planned for Texas Tech and you know what I'm saying, and Kentucky. I had Texas Tech, Kentucky, and Baylor. But I knew if I'd have gone there and I would have visited them, I would have just signed just because I wanted to be in Texas somewhere. Kentucky, I was a little bit real. Jarrell, we laugh about this shit every time we see each other. Jarrell sent them he sent them the printed out transcript from the library that you do on your own instead of the official one. So they was going to fly me out there, and they was like, if Rail can't come, so, we're just going to be you. I was like, well, if Rail ain't coming, I ain't coming either, right? So I just squashed that and didn't even go to no trips. And I thought in my head that I was going to redshirt that year and go figure it out in the summer. And E-Cole hit me. He was like, yeah, bro. He's like, man, we didn't think we had a chance. Would you like to talk to the D coordinator or whatever? So he get the D coordinator on the line. He a grad assistant at this point. He get the D coordinator on the line. Bam. They talk to him. They give me a flight to come in the next day on Wednesday. So my recruiting trip is the Wednesday through I leave Friday morning. So when I get out there, we go to the James A. Road Arena, which is where LeBron High School game is. It's ESPN everywhere. I don't even know who LeBron James is, bro. I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, so we talking. We try to go through the whole back way, and I see all this construction. So in my mind, I'm like, if they building here, that means that they got, some promise here. So I'm like, I want to be where it's eclectic at. And Uch used to always tell me, if you're going to play DB, don't go to a running school or a school that runs a conference that run the ball. Go to a conference that throws the ball so you can get film. And I'm like, bet. So Ben Roethlisberger there, Byron Leftwich there, what's his name?
Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green was there with Urban Meyer. Like, it was just all this, right? All these teams. Brandon Marshall was Central Florida. Like, we was, so I'm like, cool. And I just got a good vibe because they was telling me they was going to let me do all this other stuff. And I get there, but because I was an out-of-state transfer, mind you, my clock is messed up because I basically flunked that second semester of my freshman year of Laney. So now I got to make up all this time. So I know I got to go to summer school and I got to do this, but I just need math and another class, right? So I know I just need math. So I'm trying to get through this college algebra math, and I take the math lab. I'm doing all this stuff. You know me. I'm like, we just trying to get somebody to push us through. I ain't really giving it a lot of thought. And the counselor, Milt, had went to Thailand or something. So he was gone. So we had somebody from a UC system come in, and they was telling me that I ain't have enough. Literally, me and Tay Campbell, we stressing, bro. We sitting there trying to figure out, we didn't really pass this class the way we wanted to. Next you know, I go up there to see Milt. He's like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm trying to talk to you. He was like, no, what the hell? He's like, you only needed three credits of math because you're transferring out of state. He was like, I put it in the notes. He was like, I'm gonna get you boom, put it up. He was like, I'm gonna get you your transcript. I'm gonna have it on my door tomorrow because they about to close on first thing in the morning. Come to my office. I'm gonna have your transcript taped to my door. So I get over there, boom, get my transcripts, fax it over to Akron. They like, come on over. And that's how I ended up getting there. Mind you, I didn't know how I was gonna get there. I had no money at this point. I'm broke as hell. I ain't got no money or nothing. So that's how I ended up getting to University of Akron. So when I get there, E is gone.
He come to Laney.
But Goose is there. You feel me? It's a couple other cats that was around, so I ended up talking to them. But now I get there and camp is over. Think about this. Camp is over. Because they already started camp already. I do this in like August something. It was a blackout on the East Coast, so I ended up having to go later. So I get there on a Friday night. I can't practice technically until Monday, but Monday I have to go enroll myself in a class, go see a counselor. Tuesday, Wednesday, we in shells. Thursday is the scrimmage to break camp. The next Thursday, we open up against our rivals, Kent State, with Joshua Cribbs playing quarterback. You see what I'm saying? I played that game. I get 3 tackles for loss. Playing nickel. I play like 35 snaps, bro. I lead the team in sacks. I lead the team in interceptions.
This for the season? This
is for the season. And I was 4th in the team in tackles, playing nickel. I didn't even play I played nickel. I was Rondy Barber. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I ended up, and I remember after the game, I tell people all the time, I play against Ben Roethlisberger. You know how you get the chess matches? It's 4th and 2. You got a little scrawny white dude on the slot, and I know he coming. I know he coming to me. So I jam him off the line, and dude just do an arrow route straight here. So instead of me just hopping like this and staying underneath and make him throw the ball over the top, I chase him. As soon as I chase him, he turns, boop, gets it, and I try to tackle him up the sideline. They score. After the game, Ben Roethlisberger, 6'5", tapping on my head, 2-4. Hey, man, keep coming, man. It's like, man, you just bringing it all night. So I'm like, I belong, right? After the season's over with, coach get fired, new coach come in. They told me they don't even want me, bro.
What?
They said, we didn't recruit you. We don't want you. We don't have no experience at the strong safety position. You can take your scholarship and go to school. But I didn't find out about this until a week before we opened up against Penn State.
The next year.
That next year. So when they finally found the coach, they came in, they're trying to figure out everything. They implementing all these systems. I'm in the weight room. I'm leader, everything, trying to do my thing. I go through the whole camp, and the way I found out I wasn't a starter, NCAA football. You know how it came out low? You know how you come out, you want to see what's up. Bro, I was 68 overall, bro.
You was higher than me. They had me left-handed.
I was 68 overall from San Francisco. Right?
Wow. Yeah.
So, and I found out that it was a guy from Florida that was a freshman, true freshman, come in. He's probably about all of 5'8". He was Buda Baker, bro. And they tried to get him to come in. So he came in. They sent him to the scout team. They brought this other dude from Detroit that had a little bit of girth. He was a Prop 48. Came out. This is when Penn State had what's the running back the fullback for Marshawn? They ended up.
Mike Robinson.
Mike Robinson. He was playing the quarterback, dual
quarterback,
threat.
right?
Yeah.
Only person who's ever scored. He's the only person I ever given up a touchdown to. I never give a touchdown to nobody else but him.
Was Larry Johnson there?
No, Larry Johnson was gone.
Wasn't there? Okay.
No, it was him. And it was like some other 26 dude. I don't know who he was, but they came out and they scored. They did all these plays, and they was just isolating this dude. Next, it's 28-0. They put me back on the game. I go in there, do my little whole senior stuff because I ain't afraid. Ain't no punk. I'm coming in here, blitz me every time, coach. So, and then the next game, we play against Middle Tennessee State as a home opener. They do like this little toss, this little pitch with the 2 linemen coming. I see it. I got to force the edge. I go underneath, make the tackle. They hit me on my hip, high hip pointer. I'm out 3 weeks. The person that they sent to practice squad ended up being a 4-year starter from then on.
The freshman.
I never seen the field again.
Wow.
I was trying to play special teams. I'm traveling every time I'm traveling. I'm traveling. You ain't gonna kick me off. Good job. This is what you do. Yeah, right. I'm everything you need to do to be the most team player. I was doing it. But they wouldn't put me on special teams. They didn't give me nothing. So mind you, I'm depressed at this point, trying to figure out what my life is gonna be, right? Then I found out I had a baby on the way. You feel me? So like it's taking a whole nother turn. It was some real stuff, bro. So like, you know, and then when I ended up coming back and I seen Uchi, was like, where you been? He's like, I have people calling here left and right for you. He's like, we've been telling me Akron. They've been telling me that they've been trying to put somebody else on number 19 to give them a tryout. I'm like, that's them. They didn't want me, you know what I'm saying? That new regime didn't want me to shine, bro, for whatever reason. So then I'm like, you know, so then I was about to go play Saskatchewan for a little bit. And I thought about going all the way up there, bro. And I was just like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done.
Hey, we got 15 more minutes, so I'm gonna some other stuff I want to talk to you about, man. But like, if you listen to my interview, I also said, man, how when it didn't work out, you trying to find your way.
Yeah.
I told him how, you know, basically I ended up in Houston, Texas with my dogs.
Yeah. I remember they calling me. It's like, we got Low here. What's up, Low? You know, you be on the speakerphone.
You know, so definitely, but that come from, man, like I was telling Ken before, man, my plan was to play football. So when that window started shrinking and I never had a plan outside of that, it was like, I still got to take care of myself. And at this point, I'm from Oakland. I got to do it by any means necessary, you know, and you just try all these different things, man. But what I wanted to talk to you about, man, was we hear a lot of time. I'm going to talk about Red. I'm going to talk about Nato, your younger brothers. Everybody say that Red is probably one of the best football players they seen in the OAL, man. You've been there. I was kind of gone. I didn't see all the Red games. You've been there. Do you have that same vibe when you hear people say those things about Red?
Oh, because he earned it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to go from playing at Fremont and being in the Super Bowl at Fremont. Mac was sitting at the house, right? So he go with his team at Fremont, and then the next year he gets on the McClymonds team that already had a quarterback, that had David Gray at wide receiver. They had, you know what I'm saying, Tidy Bo and Darnell, you feel me? Good track speed, capable bodies, you feel me? With Zoe finally starting to come into his own, right? Now it was I remember because September 11th happened that year when they played that year. September 11th happened. I was still at the house because I didn't leave until September 20 something, right? But I remember they were supposed to go play Dorsey High School in LA. And the only game that they lost was against Galileo that year that they were supposed to play Dorsey. So they wasn't even up for that. They went to Galileo, played them, lost to Galileo, and then they beat the brakes off Tristan. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all say Tristan, they beat the brakes off Tristan. They beat the brakes off of Pinole Valley. All the teams that people was coming out of over there, Mac was giving it to them, boy. You know what I'm saying? And then they got to the OAL and they ran through that. They beat Skyline. Did they beat them twice? No, did they beat them twice? I don't know. I think they beat them one. They lost to them the first time in the regular season, and then they beat them in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that MAC team didn't go undefeated enough? They didn't go undefeated?
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember.
Man, that team was nice. I think they went undefeated, Gino.
And then I was at this point, I'm gone. I'm in the military now, so I don't even know exactly what happened. They just sent me the picture. It's a classic picture. Nato got it. I put it, we posted a couple times on Facebook. But Red, Nato holding up the Super Bowl, you got little Marcus Peters underneath them. You feel me? Ball boy. You feel me? That's pretty much how that Mac family stuff it started from then. So that legend of Mac's dominance started. It started from there. So that's that legend of being. You know how people from the West talk, bro. They gonna bring it up every time. You feel me? And they gonna bring it up every time. So they the ones. They keep it going. They keep it going. You see what I'm saying? They still at the stove. They still at the storefront. They still over there. So that's what they gonna talk about every football season. So that's why his legend has grown over that time. But I tell people, Red was so raw in baseball, bro. Red was the rawest person I ever. I was the biggest fan of Ray Young. Ray Young was my idol, bro. he was my idol in basketball because I was sitting at the Arco looking at him beat us at Fremont, and I didn't even have the uniform on because somebody messed theirs up, but I just had to warm up, and I had to, knowing I was going to get in, but I had a front row seat. And that dude, Cavs, the way he jumped, he didn't have no jumper, but he was just like, do it all. He was a utility guy. But when I was coming up in Oakland and being at Arroyo, and he used to be a lefty, and he used to hit that thing to me in the sand pit, bro. Like, I was that kid catching that ball in the sand pit, bringing it, shagging it back. So that was my guy. So when I seen Red and how he used to dominate the baseball, he reminded me of him. And he didn't, and like I said, that argument I always have about if Oakland with the baseball, like we had so much talent when it came to that. Like if we even just give baseball a run, we got Hall of Famers, bro. We got real life Hall of Famers. But we talk so much about football and that, and I blame that on our culture, and I blame that on the CIF because not allowing us to even go deeper. Because it's sad because even with football, if you know that you can't play against the best, you know, like it's like, what are you really working for? Like Skyline only have to worry about what, one team a year?
Right.
They had 70 people on the team. They didn't have to worry about nobody. Their biggest problem was against themselves and who was going to play and who was going to start. See what I'm saying? So
does it kind of haunt you that you never beat Skyline? No. It kind of bothers me a little bit.
How can you? But Ken, you just told me, bro, you didn't even know what defense they were. How you gonna beat somebody when you don't know what they're doing?
No, I'm not saying that. I know why we lost, but it does bother me that like. It
don't bother me.
Because in hoop, I beat everybody at least one time. Football, I've only beaten Castlemont. I've never beat Fremont, never beat Mac, never beat Tech. That kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, if I lost to all those teams, it bother me too.
But that's impressive. But that's impressive though, Ken. To only beat 2 teams in your career, you'll get a scholarship. Like, how did you get a scholarship like that?
Coach Carter. Coach Carter.
That was the thing. It's like I always talk about like Beam, and I love Beam, right? Because I love Beam because he just implemented a system. Right? And that system is basically what he stuck to. He knew he had longevity there. He knew he had the community. He knew he had everything. So he was at a decent program that had a good community behind him. Right? It wasn't like just all this, you know, my son need to play, blah, blah, blah. It was like.
But he had a pipeline for the most part, which was the Dynamites. And it's kind of like Mac did with East Bay Warriors. After the Saints turned East Bay Warriors, they created a pipeline that's help start that dominance. Like if you in a school and you a pipeline and you talking where you only talking about one little league one Pop Warner program, and you getting them kids already developed, like already them played.
It wasn't even just the Dynamites. It was Saints too.
So that pipeline.
You was getting it all, and then if you wasn't going there, you was going on down. Because that's why I'm just looking at it from the parents in general. Like if you coming from a good, stable background, your parents gonna want the best for you. They gonna try to put you in a decent situation, right? So Skyline was getting 80% of their roster was that. So look at like Josh Dean. Josh Dean stayed on 82nd, bro, and you know, right behind King, right? Like you think he couldn't win the Skyline, but he knew that, you know, it was probably easier for him to get the O'Dowd, but they go there. Kurt, all them, bro, like. That hillside, I went to King, so I knew everybody's going here. But I'm walking with all my Castlemont people to get to school. You know what I'm saying? But the Castlemont, everybody that's going over here, we know like half of them gonna go to Castlemont. Boom, I'm gonna go to Skyline, stay on the same 46 to go to Skyline, and then the loophole came. Boom, I end up going right outside my front door to get to 40L to go to Fremont to go to the school every day because of my brother ended up getting his life together. So then.
Hey. So the other question I wanted to ask you was like Nato, right? So you just happened to be fortunate to be in school with all your brothers, right? Yeah. What was it like for Nato after he's the only one in school by himself now?
It was rough a little, bro. I'm telling you straight up, that shit was rough because now this is when Marshawn is there, right? This is Marshawn. This is what's the name? The whole little Skyline team with Giannis
Giannis and all of them.
Yeah. So they all coming. That's when they started playing at the Coliseum. So little brother lost him and Tyrone. Them they lost to them in the Super Bowl that year, in the Coliseum. So, you know, it was kind of hard because it's like now you the younger Henderson, you the youngest Henderson, you the youngest Vital, and you got all the success from your brothers coming up, and now all of a sudden y'all got to be the ones to hold on to it, and you don't have no support of any of your brothers. Everybody's gone. So you see what I'm saying? Now it's just, but the parents are there, but it's different when you doing it for Nato was like me. He was smart. He's a student of the game. He understood everything, right? But he didn't have that reinforcement that we did. You know, when we needed somebody to lean on, we like, bro, it's your turn. You feel me? Like, you make this play. You know, Nato didn't have that. So he was out there doing everything for himself. But, you know, you look at him like, I look at Nato, he had the visor, he had the back flap, the tape. He was little Siri, the way he got Siri looking. Like,
hey,
to the fullest, bro.
Hey, man, let me tell you, man, Nato, man, I love Nato. I love the family, man.
Yeah.
But me and Nato have bumped heads 1,000 times about the look, the visor, the tape, the spat. Hey, listen to me. Hey, I'm that old school coach. I'm the coach that want to prepare the kids for when they do go to high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It might get a kid like Coach Pete say, you can't wear gloves, you can't spat, right? So I'm like, hey, y'all, our team, we wear all white socks. We gotta wear all white socks.
I'm like, what?
Nato come, and let me tell you, Sirius is in gold socks with gold tape.
Yeah.
Wristbands on with them. I'm like, hey, dude, Nato, like, I can't really go bad, you little bro. But it's like, dude, you just hella undermined me in front of like all
Nato, but he was like that when he was coming. But he came up in that era where he seen us spatting green,
all of that.
Blonde hair, gold tips, you know, like freaking green tips. You know what I'm saying? We out there just having a blast, just doing our own individual thing. And then like he was only able to do it 1 year. He tried to play at Laney, but he never really finished playing at Laney. Beam, I think he came in Ooch was there. So Ooch knew me. So, you know, and that's why Nato ended up having this issues, because here you come having somebody like me that's telling Ooch, do it this way. Let's try this. Let's do all these things. And then you come with my little brother and was like, man, fuck you, coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this. I just want to wear this. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all he really wanted to do, was just go out there and look good and have fun. He was the one that literally just wanted to have fun. I quit football so many times. I quit football that year at Laney. I quit. Halfway, right before school started, I quit. I didn't even play it. I didn't go through no camp, no nothing. And then I ended up coming back because the players begged me to come back. And then right when we were doing the jamboree, and that's when I came back. Pete, Ooch was like, you got to earn your spot. You know, Pete was like, hey, 22, get your weak ass up out of there. Vital, get back there. Go return some kicks. You see what I'm saying? So they was laughing because they like, Ooch over here trying to be on his militant stuff. And then Pete like, man, I don't give a shit about none of that. Like, Bob, you get back there with us. It's like, here's pure horse shit, buddy.
So I can only imagine how difficult that was for Nato, because he actually played with Red, and now Red's gone, and people gonna expect, like, they don't know the energy that you. They don't know the energy at Mac.
In the championship.
That Mac, and they don't know the energy that you guys feed off with each other. So now I don't got that energy to feed off of, and now y'all want me to do all this, not by myself, but you want me to be my brother in a way, you know? Yeah. You expecting that same thing, you know?
Yeah.
See, but like, I hear Nato was nice in baseball too, though.
Yeah, Nato was nice in baseball. Nato was he was a classic little bro. Like he wasn't great at anything. He was just good at a lot of things. So you needed somebody to lay down a bunt. He knew, you know what I'm saying? You need somebody to turn this double play. You know what I'm saying? Like if you needed somebody to punt, he was serviceable. You feel me? He could do all. You need him to throw like the halfback pass. Like he knew how to do a whole bunch of things. So I'm saying, and he was a student of the game. Like Nato was there. See, when Mario started, Mario didn't know nothing. We used to tape off on my pop's church tapes where he had this whole list of wall like VHS, and he would just start from here, and we would start from there. We would just take the tapes, record over the stuff that he'd already seen, and that's how we didn't have, the cable. I mean, we had cable, we didn't have on demand. So like those old school BCS games with Mike Vick and Florida State, like we had those on, and that during the time of off season when nothing else was, no football was on, guess what was in the VCR? We're winding it. Bro, look at Peter Ward. Bro, look at his feet. Look how he just, bro, we got to go up here. Me and Mario, come on, bro. We going to call it, what we going to call it? We're going to call it pit-pat, bro. We're going to pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. You know what I'm saying? We want to get our feet better. So we jump and rope. We over there. I'm like, bro, so our hill, the hill that we used to run, we used to be out there religiously. Then we took it from the hill all the way to round tables that was on Keller. That was our endurance run. Well, we got that from Coach Clint because we used to run all the way to Merritt from Fremont. See what I'm saying? We used to run all the way from Merritt from Fremont. So we started working on our endurance from there, just taking that to football. But our football team, we didn't do that. See what I'm saying? We didn't do that. We implemented it towards my senior year with Coach Walker because they knew that we did it already. See what I'm saying? It's like, if we hearing y'all doing it, let's do it as a team. And that was me taking the stuff from Skyline, right? I'm trying to bring that culture, that mentality down the hill that nobody else could never do.
Hey, last question, G's, and I'm gonna let you sign us out of here. Hey, when your brother leaves, your older brother Mario, when he leaves to go to Southern Oregon, right? Did you feel like, hey, you know what, big bro turned his life around? He got away from the bullshit that Oakland could consume you with, and then he get arrested and unfortunately incarcerated for that long period of time. Like, did you feel like he backslid, or did you like damn, bro, I thought you was out of it?
Nah, see, don't think about bro at the time. It was just more so he just needed somebody that was just gonna say yes to the shit that he was asking. Because of course he asked me a whole bunch of times. I'd be like, "You serious? Do you hear yourself?" Like I was always that brother that was like, "Nah, bro, I'm not doing it." And I used to get in trouble from my parents because I would leave him, like when we used to have to come home, but then he would get mad at me and chase me away. You feel me? Like, because he'd be like, "You little bitch ass," and like, "You don't want to do that." I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm going home." I'm telling mom, like, "Tell mom, I'm gonna throw a bat at you or something. I'm running." Like, it was stuff like that because bro was always trying to get into that. You know, he was always trying to get to that bag for whatever reason. That's all he ever wanted to do. So when we left, it was kind of like we were all leaving, not really for ourselves. We was just leaving to still pursue it was like we wasn't gonna quit football at that point. We was just gonna go into football until us that we couldn't come back. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. So it's kind of like, I got eligibility, let me just try it out. So when I left to go to Akron, mind you, I'm out there. I'm Eastern time zone. Bruh is now going to Southern Oregon. I hear from him. He telling me going up there. He goes up there. You know, he telling me what's going on. Of course, he not liking it. And then the next year, he's telling me he still had a year eligibility. And then when the eligibility thing happened, right, he was doing some stuff. He was working, doing this little financial aid work, whatever, at the little place. And I remember talking to him, and he was just kept telling me, like, you know what I'm saying, like how stuff was going and how he was feeling. And then I remember the last Christmas we all spent together was 03, Christmas of 03. That's the last Christmas we all spent together, Christmas of 03. We was at the house. Bruh came back with so much weed from Oregon, was smoking with everybody. And I'm like, he's smoking with the mailman, bro. I'm like, bro, he just smoking with everybody. And he was just like, bro, he just, my partner comes to the house every day, bro. He just give me pounds and pounds, just bags and bags. He was like, bro, I'm like, bro, just be cool up there, man. And that's all. And see, that was the thing. Like, now he got other people that's on that hype that's up there with him. And that's what ended up happening. And that was that was my real reason for not going to Texas Tech. And I tell people this story all the time because when I was supposed to go there, they called me on the phone and was telling me to go to they had this thing called the Red Raiderettes. It was like we don't send the dudes out with you. We send the females that, they host you. So what's your thing? Do you like redheads, blondes? You like, sisters? What do you like? And I'm looking at the phone like, hell no, I'm not about to get caught up in that shit. Because here I am, an out-of-towner. I've come down there. First time this stuff goes down and hits the fan, guess who they going to blame it on? They're going to blame it on a junior college transfer that they have no allegiance to. So that was my real reason for not going to Texas Tech. I could have been at Texas Tech.
So when you talk about that Christmas 2003, and Ken, this is right before we leave and go to Missouri, that January 2004. Mario, I talked to Mario.
Yeah.
Bro, Green got the hookup for us, bro. Let's leave and go to Missouri. So it's supposed to have been me, Ken, Merch, and Jabali supposed to went to Missouri.
Yeah, because Bali was in that too.
Supposed to went to Missouri together. It's supposed to have been us four, but Mario just, next thing you know, last time I talked to him, he in Southern Oregon. I'm like, how the fuck you go? 'Cause at this time, Gino, remember, we working out at Castlemont together.
Yeah.
Me, you, Mario, we trying to get ready at Castlemont, and we know that window was closing on us, right? And next thing you know, hey, Green, if you could get me on Missouri, let's do it. Talk to Mario. Mario want to come. Next thing you know, Rio ass is in Oregon. Like, how the fuck? We didn't even talk about that.
But didn't Fody go up to school up there? Didn't Phil go to school?
He went to Eastern
I think Wu went up there.
Huh?
I think Wu went up there.
Yeah, somebody went up there or went close, and I remember you talking about like I think you said Fody went to
Eastern
Oregon. So then I don't know how that's what I'm saying. I don't know how he ended up finding out about it. But and see, once he got away from me, like who is his voice of reason, right? Like I'm the person that always asks him those questions, like, bro, you hear what you saying? You know, like you want to go to Oregon, you want to go to SoCal or go to a JC when you got Laney sitting right here. You can catch the bus from right here, the same bus you've been catching to school. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to go down there and try to figure out how you're gonna live and how you're gonna do all this stuff. I'm like, bro, you don't need that. Just go to Laney. All you need is film. That's how I used to always talk to him, right? And he'd be like, yeah, bud, you like, man, fuck that, bud. But man, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? But when your mind racing and you got some other stuff that's on there and you like trying to figure out, you know, and then when he left, it was just like I wasn't even thinking about him at that point. You feel me? I was trying to get myself together, figuring out my new adventure over here. Did I make the right decision? You know what I'm saying? How I'm going to work in this situation, you know, over here with these people that never recruited me, that don't have no clue who I am, how I'm going to get on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to figure all that out. So I was working my damnness to trying to get on the field over there. And then I remember like it was yesterday. The girl called me and I was just waking up. My phone kept ringing. It was like, boom. It's like, oh my God, Jim, you got to get to Oregon right now. Your brother just got. I'm like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, and he had you all filled up. I'm like, so then bro ended up calling me. He was like, bro, you ain't got to do all that. Like, you know, focus on your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got somebody else going up there for this, that, and other. He's like, we're going to be cool. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then a week before, like 2 weeks before that, he was supposed to send me some money because my financial aid was funny. And I was getting kicked out of my dorm. I had to get my own little spot. And he was supposed to send me some money. So he never sent it. But I never was tripping off of it because I ended up wiggling some stuff with the school. And then when I finally talked to him again, he was locked up. You feel me? And that's how fast it went. And I didn't see my brother, you know what I'm saying, like outside since from that moment on. He did a full 13 of that thing, you know. Came home, you know. He doing good now though. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him.
Hey, man, doing great, man. You know, I told you before, man, I was missing a Vital coaching with me, man. I had Mario coming. I had Nato.
But see me, I'm a different person, right? Because I know when it comes to system, I look at De La Salle system and how they have from the freshmen coming in. It's a military system. I was in the military, so I understand the duty on the country and what they talk about, what they preach, you know, selflessness. You know, so then it's like everybody's looking at their kid is going to make to the NFL or get the opportunity. But really what you want is to instill that discipline in your children so that when their numbers call, they got to be ready. And that's what I look at De La Salle. It's like they come in and the first thing that they're doing is teaching them how to step on certain zone plays, you know, or certain like plays, like where's your hand placement, stuff like that. And that's what I was trying to tell Nato. I was like, if I'm going to be out there, that's what I want to work with the kids on. I don't care if they can run fast. I don't care if they can do all that stuff. I want them to understand that they know the game and they know why they're doing it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I was trying to tell Nato. And I used to tell him, like, bro, stop making it about you and the flags and all that. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Just go out there, coach them kids, try to play as many people as you could, because you don't know what type of impact you might have on these kids. But if you're yelling at the ref and yelling, they gonna think that's normal. So they gonna grow up and they gonna be yelling and doing all these things. Like, no, we gotta change that narrative and bring it back. See what I'm saying? So like, I know, Lo. I'm like,
hey, listen to me. Hey, you just took us to a perfect segue for you to sign us off, because what you said, I can't reiterate that enough. And I think that's because who we came playing up under, playing with Denny, playing for Denny, and then you got to coach Zoe in your ear, where Zoe give it to you straight, uncut. You know what I'm saying? Like Dante Mark was saying, Zoe let you know the real, and you want that. And then you go to a Coach Pete, who I tell all the time, Coach Pete is what instilled discipline in me.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, hey, don't have your ass out here at this certain time. I knew that. I knew the discipline outside of football with Coach Pete, but on the field with Coach Pete, we headbutted. I'm not about to be no damn decoy. Why run all these goddamn 9 routes and you throw him the ball? Hey man, sub me out, J Gaff, go in. I'm not about to keep doing that shit.
Right? He used to give me all the blasts and the dives, bro, and then he used to give school all the pitches and stuff, encounters. I'm like, Coach, I can't get no counter. I can't get no pitch, bro. Like, come on, man. Absolutely, he would always give me everything, bam, bam, up the middle, and the 22 cutbacks and all those others. I'm like, these old ancient ass plays. Like, I hated them plays, bro. But I didn't have that voice because we were all trying to come up on there. But Ooch was my guy. See, that's why when it came to defense, I knew I was a defensive player because Ooch was my guy. When I talk defense and I talk, lineup, I talk schemes and everything. It was more so for defense for me. I feel like if I know how to stop you, I can beat you, right? If I know how to stop you, if I can stop you from scoring, I can find a way to score on you. Like my offense is do something. And a lot of those times on that team, bro, we had some beautiful games where we would give up like 86 yards, but the score would be 35-27. And you ask yourself how. Because them pick sixes and them picks all the way to the 10, you feel me? Like we be sitting there like we kept them out the end zone I'm still getting hella eagles and hella stickers and stuff because we handled ours, but our offense just put us in horrible situations. And then as a defense, we didn't put our head down. We just like, another challenge. Let's go stop somebody. You see what I'm saying?
Before I let you go, man, tell me, how did you keep your head high on a 1-9 season like that? How was your motivation still there every game, but yet we 1-9?
Which year are you talking about?
Your Laney year, the year you played.
The first or the second year? The freshman year.
The freshman year, y'all was 1-9, right?
I don't even know, bro. It was rough. It wasn't even that. It was a focus. It was more so like knowing that you had another year to redeem yourself. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, I didn't believe the number one reason why I stopped playing running back was because we played against Butte. And before I even got a trap, bro, I was getting hit in the backfield. Like, boom! Like, as soon as I get the ball, pop, legs gone. And I'm just sitting there looking at my lineman like, I'm stronger than all of them. Pete don't want them to run after practice, right? They don't do no conditioning. And I was just sitting there just scratching my head. My quarterback was just like this introverted white dude, just like, at least y'all had P. Lane. You could talk to P. You feel me?
That's a whole episode in itself, Gino.
Just like, come off the field. He was just like Joe Flacco, just go straight over, don't say nothing to nobody. Had his little circle of people that, the little Castro Valley, Piedmont people, that they would talk to, Alliance, wherever the schools are. And then it's like everybody else from the public schools, the inner city schools are over here. It was like our whole thing was divided. So it was kind of like, and we had Taj. We had Taj Stansberry on the team. And, we was advocating for him to play, and Taj, whatever Taj had going on, he just every time you give him an opportunity, he would just do something to just take it back. Like, and he just never seemed like he had it together. He was really beaming before we knew he was just, everything was just gone. Like he would come out there, run a play, he would go the wrong way, do it. Like, it was kind of like, damn, Taj, we just fought for you to get in here and you doing the wrong play on the dive, on the bootleg and shit like that. Like, and Pete wasn't having it because at the end of the day, he just wants you to go out there and run what he called, right? No ad lib to it, my way to highway type deal.
Yeah, we could do a whole 2 hours on that season.
Hey man, Gino, man, we got to thank you.
Well, before we sign off, I got to get this out. Before we sign off, bro, Gino during 98 to 2000 had so much control of Oakland, especially with the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Number one, I wanted to be like Gino. Like, he was the one, like I had a good pulse on the city around 99, 2000, but I was always chasing Gino's lure. Like if I couldn't get a girl, it's because she wanted Gino, right? And I'm like, damn. So our senior year, all the schools decide for senior night or senior day, whatever. We gonna go to the water slides. Right? Yeah. This dude Gino chips his tooth going down a water slide, and all the girls think that shit was sexy. The chip tooth. I'm like, come on, like you the only dude I know that could chip his tooth, and girls find that sexy.
My whole thing was I'm like, I gotta get this tooth fixed. But it never stopped. Like
it never stopped, and they was liking it. They was like, "Oh my God, his chip tooth is so." I'm like, "Are you serious right now?"
It seemed like I was available, like I was approachable, and I had like a flaw to me. You feel me? Like that's how they just trying to explain to me, like you got something, you got a flaw like everybody. You're not just this, this superstar, rocking around, can't be touched and all of that. Like you got a chip tooth, you got your scar, and they was just like, it just seemed like they just started pulling. It's like, and I used to talk to my mom, I'm like, bro, like, why my chip tooth look better than his chip tooth?
I'm like, I got straight teeth. What you like? Yeah, nah. Hey, so like, there are a lot of older guys that I fan out about that. I'm like, oh my God, that's, you know what I'm saying? But Gino's the only person from my era that like, when we're together, like I'm the groupie dude that laughs at all his jokes that aren't even funny. I
was everywhere. I was everywhere you thought that was something that was going down. I was everywhere. Yeah. This is story. This is before I go. Dub C. This is me and Dub C started getting super cool. He was like, Cino. He always called me Cino. He's like, Cino. He's like, bud, you always broke doing the school, but then you be paying for my shit on the weekends. I'm like, I'm not paying for shit at school, bro. I'm like, I'm gonna have all these girls pay for this shit at the school. I was like, we gonna go out. I'm like, bro, you need to get into the function. I'm like, bro, it's cool. Come on, bro. I got the car ready. I ain't even had no license. People used to just come to my house, bro. 76 in Bancroft. People used to just pull up.
I was one of them.
Where the girls at? Yes. I used to be like,
me and Merch be like, hey, call Gino. Call Gino.
So the worst thing is, Ken, a little older, this motherfucker Gino hooks up with Dante and Tyree.
That's a cold trio right there, boy. That's a cold trio. I got an off-air story for that. I got an off-air story. But yeah, Gino, Dante, and Tyree, no, you can't lose.
And then all of a sudden, once I started meeting Tay, I was like, that's more my speed right there. Because T was a little loose cannon sometimes when it came to him. But Tay was just like, man, I'm about to that. I'm like, wait, bro. You don't have to do all that with her right here. Yeah. Here's the playbook. Right? I was giving her a playbook.
Rub her back a little bit.
And that's how we became cool. And then, that's my brother to this day, bro. Yeah, like
their upbringing was a little different.
I love them dudes, man. I love them dudes.
Click, bro. And then, it's like, and then it's crazy because I'm the one, I tried to get Tay to play defense with me. I was trying to get him to beat Jeremiah. Yeah. Like, I was trying to get him to beat, Tay 6'2", 210. I'm trying to get him out of there. But he wanted to play wide receiver.
And he was strong as hell.
Yeah, he was the only person, he was the first person I ever seen power clean. I ain't never power clean before in my life, but my bro, he will power clean, perfect form, everything. I'm like, bro, how your body do that?
Hey.
Nah, it's good stuff, man. Nah, man, I just had to get that off. I had to let Gino know, man. I'm a big fan, man. Like, I don't really get too geeked up about guys I played with and shit because I think a lot of those are overrated. But when it comes to Gino, I'm like, nah, bro. Everything is
because that era, like I tell you, like I know enough of the old heads and the young heads. You know what I'm saying? To be able to understand what went down. But you know what I'm saying? But my era, I just, it was just I was just have my hands involved in a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then like even when I went to the state and shopping in long jump, I didn't go to the state to go compete. I just wanted to have a front row seat to go see the races, right? That's all. You feel me? It was just little stuff like that. I would do just enough to get myself in places where like, okay, I'm there. Like, oh, you remember this? This is the dude from Poly, and they over here fast, and they going to get such and such from over here. I'm literally on the field like this, looking at the race like, ah, like, oh, okay, oh, you feel me? And then now I know them. I slap fives with them. And, when I used to be out in Vegas, I would shoot everybody. And they'd be like, bro, DJ come up to me, be like, bro, you good? He see my little brother in Denver, be like, you want to vitals, bro? Like, yeah, you Gino brother, right? You feel me? But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I was everywhere. I wanted my face to be seen. I wanted my face to be known.
Well,
Now
help
I'm
us get
starting to
DJ
get
on the
a
show.
regular
How
doing
about that? Help us get DJ on the show.
Yeah, you got to get DJ. Man, come on, man. You got to get DJ on.
Who do you want to? Who are you a fan of? Like, who would you want to see on the show?
Bro, you see me, bro. DJ is like the number in our era. DJ is number one, bro. Like when it came to football in the Bay Area, 2 years running, DJ was unstoppable. He was the only person that you ever heard of that went from Bay Area to Miami. That was to that level.
Yeah, he was number one recruit in the nation.
He wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? This was doing the height, and as a freshman, just to get him on the field, he played fullback.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's unless you know that's grown man status for people that's already projected to go number one and in the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like DJ was that guy. So that's the person that you should always. You already got Chris on there. You got Marquis on there. You feel me? I'm like, you gotta get Marv on there. I just seen Marv. I just started following Marv not too long ago on
Henderson?
Facebook. Yeah, Henderson.
We was just together Friday. We was just together.
You gotta get Marv on there. I mean, Marv go way back, bro. Like the old AAU basketball days, bro. They got stories from all that. And then like I be looking at cats that inspire me. Like you remember old school Ted? They used to go to Claremont. They used to hoop.
Oh yeah, Ted went to Tech.
Stewart, what's his? Stewart.
Yeah, and like in what's his name? Jefferson. Like those are my guys that I was just look at and just like, okay, that's my competition right there. So I used to always look at people in Oakland. But once I got on Oakland, Kurt, obviously you already know Kurt, Marviel doing his thing with his clothing.
Definitely got to get Marviel on.
Get Marviel on there. He touching up people in Oakland like he still got, Marviel Oakland. He Oakland. He just
Marviel's Oakland. He just went to San Leandro, but he Oakland.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like Marviel, like them my guys, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if Marviel would have been on the list, I would have been like, oh no, bro. That's my guy, bro. But yeah, man. I mean, I love what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? To wrap this up, I love what y'all doing. Keep what y'all doing, you know what I'm saying? And make sure, you know what I'm saying, that we just always stay positive. We always keep a smile on our face and try to understand that these kids, that's who we do it for. The 20 years down the line, all this footage is going to be up. They're going to see all these weird-ass stories from their parents because their uncles and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they might not appreciate it now, but just keeping this going and just keeping these names out. Because the number one person that ever told me, the first person that told me that I reminded him of somebody when it came to football was a guy that I never met before. He told him I reminded him of a Chicago running back. And I was thinking sweetness because that's the only person I knew. He was like, you remind me of Gale Sayers. Mm-hmm. I never heard of his name before. But then, of course, he just passed away this year. I'm a Bears fan because of him. See what I'm saying? I started watching film on Gale Sayers. When you look at my game, the way I ran the ball, I was elusive. And I started to understand, we are descendants of, of these people. So it's like, we don't know where you might get your gifts from. But when you start looking at the lineage and how stuff is, that's the thing. So keep, putting this history out there for our kids to go back and someday study, man, and see where they get it from, man. But y'all doing a great job, man. I'm proud of y'all. I love y'all, though.
I appreciate you, Jino, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, no problem, y'all. All right, y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Hey, Ken, that's one of the great episodes where, the time doesn't match the story, right? Yeah. Because even though we're at 2 hours and some change, we can still go on and on with Jino and his brothers and their history. And we didn't even talk about everything else that we should have talked about. We didn't even touch Jino basketball, playing at Fremont, playing with Clint, Denny, all of them different things, the athletes that Fremont produced. So we could have went on and on, man. That's one of them stories where, the time don't match the story because we can, that's Jino, where we got stories we can keep pulling
keep going.
And the athlete that he was, man. So shout out to Jino, man. Man, it might be some flag though, Jino, with that all Skyline running backs overrated because we had it picked as running back so we're gonna have to see how that goes.
I know Art ain't gonna like it.
We might gotta put that in a clip. You got to put that in the clip and let that clip say it is, man. But then again, Jino is the athlete that you can't get mad at that. He said it because who he is said it. Right. Because if you say put him one-on-one against any of them, you know, you kind of picking Jino.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
got to do more with less. You know, so I'm glad it's him that said it. It make whatever his argument is. I don't feel they was overrated.
I don't feel they were
I remember the
overrated.
Jay Charlotte, the Jay Coops, the Art Young.
He said all of them. I was
You know,
like,
you
you
give
mean all of them?
Giannis,
That's
Frank,
the first
all
one
of
came
them.
to my brain was Giannis and Frank. I'm like, nah, I don't think they were overrated at all.
Definitely gonna be a great. Got to get that out, man.
But he did say Terry was good.
Did say Terry was
Yeah,
good,
he did say
and
Terry
you
was
know, so shout out to Terry, man. Terry was slept on.
We
but
gotta get Terry on the show soon.
I hear it all the time, man. That Terry was that size and ran like a 4.4 flat 40.
Well, Terry was the man. Like
Man.
baseball and football, Terry, and he was a late bloomer because I don't even really remember Terry from like Oakland Babe Ruth until we turned. Like even 13s, he made stars, but I don't remember Terry being good at 13s. It was like 14, 15, and then Skyline where I started hearing about him and he started tearing things up. But
and that's one of the things, Ken, where you never know with these kids because they can be late bloomers.
Right.
You know, it will be a lot of them late bloomers against people that peaked early. Like when we talk about peaked early, you can say Skyline, David Bush.
Yeah.
Dave Bush, you know, Dave Bush, a good athlete, but did he peak
too early? Yeah,
because
he was killing for Saints.
Killing, right? Dave Bush, did he peak too early or did he get sidetracked at Skyline? You get what I'm saying?
But he went D1 though.
But he went Army though, right?
Yeah,
or did he
Navy,
go Army?
I think he went Navy,
Navy, you know,
one of them, yeah.
But did he peak too early? So you get those people that, you know, that sometimes Ricky, you know, did they peak too early? Rick was good. Rick was even good with us at Laney. You know, but sometimes you have some that peak too early, man. So shout out to Terry, man. We got to get Terry on the show.
We got to get him on, and we got to let him talk about what he's doing now. Trying to revive Greenman too. That's big because we do need to bring that back. Yeah. So, but thank you guys for checking out another episode. We want to say thank you to our guest, Jino Vital. You can follow us on Instagram at the Rec Center Podcast. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Rec Center. I'm Kenny Edwards for Lorenzo Parham. We out.